that guy.
All right, we're live.
We're live. So how do you two know each other?
So Riley is my friend Colton's best friend, I believe.
Ah,
Yes.
the Colton.
The Colton himself.
I've seen him once
Really?
when we were coming over to play D&D in your place, and he was just like,
Yeah, that was when he lived
walking
there.
through the room, I think.
Yeah,
I was like, who the fuck is that? And he was like, well, that's him.
it was
We
just
don't.
this weird skinny silhouette
Just
in the
fucking lizard.
corner.
Yeah.
You guys want to see my gnarly bruise that I don't know how I got?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at that motherfucker.
Oh
Like
my
I just
God.
woke up with that one day. Hurts like hell.
I think he was
You
blacked out
fucking-
drunk, brushing his teeth, and he just passed out. Just bam!
I think
Top.
well, because I have a shower mat that I didn't used to have, and so I think I might have just tripped over it because I'm not used to it being there. But it's also right next to the vanity, so
Well, at least you probably didn't feel a thing.
nope, I didn't even feel it in the morning. I just like not until something touched it, and I was like, "The hell." Actually, Gabby pointed it out to me originally, because my like default resting pose is I'll like put my arms up like that. She's like, "The fuck is that on your arm?"
The big ass hickey.
How big is this person's mouth that they're giving hickeys that size?
I don't know, but I want in.
You want to meet him?
I want to meet him.
So, what's new, everybody? How's it going? How's life?
Pretty good.
Busy.
Well, not busy at all. Very. Let's see if I can I'm jealous of your guys' cameras now. Jesus.
I
Yeah,
got mine
damn.
specifically for this podcast, if it makes you feel any better.
Yeah, I got mine out of a baggage of rebels specifically for this podcast. Hopefully my voice is more.
Yeah, no, sounds great. What kind of microphone's that?
Oh, you know, we rock the Blue Yeti, $50.
The
Yeah,
class.
Snowball.
Oh yes, sir.
So yeah, normally
Okay.
we just talk about random stupid shit on here.
Yeah.
I like
Whatever.
that. You want to get into the
Literally-
deep stuff first? Or
literally-
start,
literally
like, shallow.
Something just pops into your head, you can just say
Doesn't
it.
matter.
Well, within reason.
You don't
Didn't you
have an
have some-
agenda. Well, I'm not gonna,
We have there's a
Did you
channel
have
in
a
the
story,
Discord.
Harley?
You what?
Did you have a story you were gonna tell?
Oh, fuck yeah, I did have a story. So, I had this weird fucking dream last night. And I've so far I've told everybody who appeared in the dream except for Marshall. But so I was in the computer center at work, and Marshall was there, and then our two maintenance guys, Randy and Andy, were there, and they're both kind of like eccentric people. But this was last night, by the way. But Marshall, I look over at him, and he's got like this assault rifle that looks like we're at college, and he's got this rifle that looks like it's from like 50 years in the future. Like, it is just super high tech. It's super decked out. It's got a big drum mag on the bottom, like crazy optics, and it's also semi-transparent because it's got active camouflage on it. But I'm like whitelisted to be able to see it, so I could see it, but nobody else in the room could. And so Marshall, he's just standing there in the room. He's got his hands like this, and like nobody questions it. Like, just, it's like, why are you holding your hands that way? And then nobody says anything. So we're standing around talking, and then Andy like finds out about it. I guess Marshall told him or whatever. And he goes, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you $400 and every weapon I own in exchange for that." And I look at Marshall and I was like, knowing Andy, that's either like a really good deal or a really shitty one. And then I woke up and I was like, the fuck? I was like, what was that dream?
What does that mean?
I don't know. You're the astrologer here. Like, what does it mean?
No fucking clue what that means. Sounds like a pretty dope gun though. I want to be whitelisted.
Yeah, no, it was neat. It was like lighter colored. I think it was like white with tan, and yeah, it was just decked out. Like,
Pay somebody to make it.
yeah, probably because I watched a bunch of Demolition Ranch videos before I went to bed last night.
Oh my god,
That might have something to do with it.
that dude's such a dork.
Yeah,
What did he shoot this time?
it was apparently a very shitty AR knockoff, decked out with like $5,000 worth of accessories. So that
Yeah.
actually makes perfect sense.
Can you imagine? Because I think his dad is rich.
Well,
Just
his
like,
YouTube channel is extremely popular. I'm sure he gets a pretty
well, it
penny
is,
off
but
of
like
that.
in the early days, because I think he was going to school for being a vet,
Mm-hmm.
and he would just go out into the bushes and just shoot shit all day, and then just got famous. If I just thinking back all the stupid shit I did, if I had filmed it, I could probably be famous right now too.
I'd probably be in prison.
Well, I was in prison, so I could have filmed that too.
You could have filmed from in prison. Like, you see those TikToks of the people who've somehow managed to get their hands on a
Yeah.
phone.
Well, not only that, but they have like all the regular amenities you would have in a house, just in a cell. They got TV and shit.
Tell us more
Don't know
about the
how.
inside of prison.
Well, it's news of something happening flies around faster than like text messages do. Like somebody does something, and then before like you walk across the dorm to your cell, everybody knows
does.
about what happened. Because I did some stupid shit when I was in there. I was playing ping pong with this other white dude, and this very stupid black dude got this orange, this big ass like tangerine looking thing, and fucking stuffed it down his pants and tried sneaking it back into the dorm for the chow hall, which is a big no. Like, you're not, that's just bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, well, we think this guy was stealing something, so he dumps it out of his pants onto the floor and it rolls over next to me at the ping pong table. So they're searching him down. And then some other dude comes over and kicks it a little bit closer to me. That's when I first noticed it. And I was like, just playing ping pong, like, oh fuck, where
Free
the fuck
orange.
did that come from? And I was like, I don't want them to think that's mine. So I like picked it up, walked over to the counter because the guard was cool after the other guards had left, and I was like, I was like, here. And he goes, where'd you find that? And I went, oh, I just fucked up, like big time. And I was like, I just found it on the floor over there. And he goes, all right, and he throws it away. And then I walk over to my friend, and when I like immediately after that, I walked over to him, and some dude walked up to me and was just like, hey man, we all gotta fucking live in here together, because he thought I was ratting the guy out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was gonna get like shanked in that moment. And then I was like, oh fuck, I gotta fix this. So there's just like this, because there's like the cliques, there's all the races, and there's like an alpha black dude that's in charge of them all. And so I just walked up to him, and I was like, listen. He's like, I want to fucking talk to you right now. And I was like, I know, but I'm just telling you, I didn't rat him out. I was just retarded. Like, I'm sorry. And he's like, all right, we're cool. And then before I immediately turned around and walked back to the bookcase. Another dude just walked up immediately. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, we were walking at the same pace, it felt like, and intercepted me and was just like, oh yeah, dude, you just don't make stupid fucking decisions like that. And I was just like, whoa, what the fuck? Do you guys have like hand signals or some shit you're giving each other?
All for some
Yeah.
citrus.
Yeah. I hated that fucking kid. They called him Princess. And there's another story
That's
about this
unfortunate.
kid too, because this big old white dude just showed up, this country boy, like a couple of days before Princess, the black guy, suddenly had like mega hemorrhoid issues to the point where he had to go to the hospital as a result. And at the same time, this big country dude said that he couldn't sit down anywhere because he was having issues with his butt. And we were all just like, what the fuck? Like, are you really telling us that? Because that sounds like you guys were just having sex all night or some shit. Anyways, that was after like a week of being in. That shit was crazy. I was only there for like a month. My case manager was super racist and just was like, yeah, you can leave.
Wait,
All for some marijuana.
how does him being racist translate to
So
you
he
having
likes
a very
white
light?
people.
Oh.
Yeah, he likes white people. He's
Oh,
a
okay.
white guy.
Gotcha.
So he hated all the Mexicans and the black people. So, like, they would come in and he would, blow smoke up their asses, telling them all this bullshit. And I come in and he's just like, yeah, what do you think? And I was like, oh, it's not bad, I guess. And then he's like, all right, well, you're here 3 months, so I'm just gonna get you out here in 28. I'm like, neat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Would you consider it a learning experience?
Yeah, I almost consider it a positive learning experience because I learned a lot about how to deal with certain types of people, and I learned that a lot of pedophiles have the same like look on their faces. It's like this like subhuman like atrophy of their soul, and you can see it in their eyes.
Hmm.
And oh, there's another story. I don't think I've ever told it on here, but they had to keep the pedophiles separate from everyone else for obvious reasons because they would get murdered half the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so occasionally you get like jobs that you can go do just to get out of the dorm. Like I cleaned up the psychiatrist's office and vacuumed their floor and shit. So you don't eat at normal times with your dorm because they put me in with all like the violent like murderers and shit because I'm so chill.
And you said it
They
was in there
literally-
for.
they
You said it was
literally told
marijuana.
me- Huh?
You said marijuana was the reason you were
Yeah.
there.
They literally told me, they were like, well, we can't just fill the place up with nothing but murderers. So we have to balance it out. So they would put people like me in there with them.
See, that's where they're not thinking like entrepreneurially. Like what they could do is fill the place up with murderers, and then just put up cameras and then pay-per-view. Man,
That would be legit. I mean, they do have cameras everywhere, but not everywhere. But like Thunderdome would erupt randomly without warning. Like I remember one time they moved us into another dorm so they could fix the AC. The dorm was empty. And there's just like 100 dudes in there. And I'm just reading a magazine on a fucking chair. And then like 2 feet behind me, just a melee starts. And it was just quiet. And then I look and some dude's just another dude in the face. And then before it, like just as quickly as it started, it stopped. And the guards like got the phone in his hand. He's like looking over. He's like, what was that? And then somebody's just like, nothing. And then it was just over. But me and another guy, he was there for stabbing somebody. He was like this crazy little Mexican dude. And he said he had a couple kids. But we got into the cafeteria when the pedophiles were going through it. And we sat down at one of the tables where some people sit, but they didn't want to fuck with us, so they just ignored us. But one dude sat down in front of us, this like chubby dude, who said he got caught diddling like a bunch of like little boys. And we asked him, we knew why he was there. We just wanted to see what he would say. And he admitted it and said that he didn't think there was anything wrong with it, and he's going to do it as soon as he gets back out.
Jesus.
And which
He knows
made
what
us
he
very
wants.
angry. What?
He knows what he wants.
Yeah. And so did I can't remember his name, but so did the Mexican guy that I was with, because he then broke the tray over the dude's face and then broke the soda machine with his face. And then just about right before it looked like he was actually going to murder the guy, that's when the guard called for backup. Because he was just standing in the doorway, leaning on it, just with the radio in his hand, just watching as this dude just like beat the fuck out of this dude.
Yeah, I wonder if the guards with like certain people for certain crimes are just like, yeah, you know, we'll ride this one out a bit.
All the fucking time.
Yeah.
That's why they probably, I would say, intentionally put people like that together sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like a big no-no on the top level, but shit. I heard it was pretty common.
Huh.
They get their own justice. Let's just put it that way.
Interesting.
I read a bunch of books and then I got out. That was
You
it.
think pedophilia is worse than stabbing someone to death, though?
Depends.
Yeah. Depends on
Well, I
who's
mean,
being stabbed to death.
He didn't
I guess.
technically stab him to death. He just stabbed.
Okay, stabbed a
somebody.
guy. I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But,
I don't know. There's people in prison like for murdering and like beating women to death, and like as soon as someone touches a kid, it's like, oh my god, this guy's the worst fucking human to exist.
Well, a lot of those
It's,
guys
I mean,
have
it's pretty
kids.
bad.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
worse than killing someone.
well, I mean, I guess that's where some people will differ in their opinions.
I know. Well, I get that it's like popular to demonize pedophiles, and I hate pedophiles as much as the next guy, but
I think it's unfair to just like immediately jump to like the worst possible crime. It's like, oh yeah, that's not as bad as killing somebody. It's like, well, I
yeah,
mean,
oh,
it's
well,
it's
but I
still
don't wanna
pretty
find
bad.
people in
Like,
there kill people, and then they're like, oh, but a pedophile, like I would never do that. That's crossing the line. I feel like diddling kids is like,
Well, it's not
there.
just kids. I mean, if you like get caught for beating women and shit too, I mean, nobody likes you.
Well,
And
also,
people were fucking each other up in there all the time. I didn't know why, so who knows?
so if you take a step back and you look at both of these crimes just without any other details,
Mhm.
there are situations where you're justified in killing somebody. But there's no
Ooh.
situation where diddling a kid is like everybody's like, oh yeah, that kid had it coming.
That kid
Like,
had it. I mean, was
that's not a thing that
Fucking
happens.
little piece of shit deserved it. Somebody's gonna like clip
That's
that and
true.
take it out of context.
Yeah, it's a good thing I'm not monetized because I wouldn't be
Hey,
after
man.
this one.
If two grown ass men want to fight and stab each other, that's on them.
I mean, that's why we live in a
Men
mutual
wanna
combat
diddle
state,
each
right?
other.
If men want to diddle each other,
Allowed to.
I think that's a different thing.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Hmm.
What else was I gonna say about that? Yeah, shit was whack.
Well, on the same topic, I posted a link in the content channel
Diddling kids.
similar. There was
Well,
a former thief who was reformed, and his thing was that he would use his skill set from being a thief. It's an Imgur link in the channel, but you'd use a skill set from being a thief to like open locks for people and safes and things like that.
Mm.
And on Craigslist, somebody was selling a safe. It was like, you can either buy this for $100, or if you can open it, we'll split it 50-50. It belonged to the previous tenant of this place. I found it in the attic. Previous tenant was arrested. And so he's like, you know what? I feel lucky with this one. So he buys the safe for $100. And it's like this total step-by-step. It's really fucking like educational and by the book. It's like, okay, you connect this wire here and you add power to this one, and this is how the keypad works, and you do this frequency on this wire, and then such and such will happen. And then he goes through it and he's like, so I finally got the safe open. And so it's got a fuck ton of SD cards in it with child porn. It's got a notebook with a bunch of like sick fantasies about the same topic. And it's also booby trapped with a grenade so that it would blow up if you tried to cut into it with like a torch. And so it's like you're reading this really documentary style thing about opening a safe, and then like the very last picture, it's like, what the fuck? That took a
pretty
turn.
badass.
The guy was serious.
Yeah.
Now he's got a grenade. Dope.
That is sick. I'd even get one.
You can't do it legally.
No, I mean, I want one though.
I knew a
Why do
dude.
Ukraine?
He was actually my platoon sergeant when I was in the Marines. He was taking the toolboxes. We had these really nice toolboxes, and he was trading them for people that he knew that worked in an armory on base. I don't remember which one it was. So this dude was trading wrenches for like 40mm grenades, hand grenades, and pistols.
So how many wrenches per grenade? Because that doesn't seem like.
Well, he was trading like a toolbox for a grenade.
Oh, okay. So.
And so
Good
like
deal.
somebody found out that a bunch of toolboxes were going missing, and they decided to do what they call health and safety inspections. Just randomly, they go through your room. There's nothing you can do about it. And they found a fucking armory in his fucking closet. And that guy was an asshole. I was glad he fucking got kicked out.
Was he just?
He
did
just
he
keeping
steal
them in
all of them? Or
Yeah,
what
he
was
just
the deal?
he was just collecting them. I guess
Huh.
he had like 4 pistols, 10 grenades, just in a box in his locker in
Is
his
this in the
room.
States?
Yeah, this is in Camp Pendleton in San Diego.
Oh.
He wasn't too
Yeah.
bright. I wouldn't have kept them in my barracks room if I did that.
Seems like it could potentially be incriminating.
Yeah. Some of these Marines are pretty entrepreneurial, because at the range on Camp Pendleton, or the one for boot camp, the guys that worked at the range would collect all the brass.
Brass goblins.
Yeah, and then they would drive down to Tijuana on the weekend with all that
Mhm.
brass and sell it for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they got caught eventually. So they're probably
Was
still.
brass the government property?
Yeah, technically they have to go recycle it and basically reload the rounds.
Brass is
Do they
neat.
A lot of
reload, or they
fucking-
just
A lot of well, they give it to a facility and they get paid for it, or I don't know what the fuck happens with it, but it's government money. It's
Yeah.
government property.
Hmm.
So they were like, "Oh, there's like hundreds of thousands of dollars that's missing from our taxes or some shit." I don't know.
I've always wanted to go like to the range and just scoop up a fuck ton of brass and just like cast something cool.
more bullets?
Like more bullets, man.
Well, no, like a fucking statue or a sword or something. Let's just be
A
neat.
brass sword. I mean, you can just go in and get a
What
giant
get-
magnet and get all the lead.
Yeah. You said a magnet for the lead?
I don't think lead's magnetic.
It's like not magnetic.
No,
Oh.
it's not ferrous.
Only iron is.
How the hell do you pick? Well, you get like a big sifter.
No, it just sort of collects over time, and it's just this the dirt hill slowly turns into a lead hill.
You get a rake.
Mhm.
It's weird when you walk on it because in the Marine Corps, when you do the range, there's no fancy target system down range. You have to go manually lift the targets up and down.
I mean, you have to do
Yeah.
that at our ranges here because they're.
Well, no, I'm talking like the Army has like digital shit, so they just look at a screen and it tells them where to
What?
hit the target.
That's
Oh,
weird. I would have thought that the Marines would have had higher end technology than the Army.
Wrong. We get the Army's leftovers, dude.
Hmm.
The Marines is like because the Marines is like it's not a necessary force because the Army can do anything that the Marine Corps can do.
Yeah, I thought the Marines were just supposed to be like a hardcore version of the Army.
Well, they are better in a lot of ways, in most ways. By most, I mean all. But they,
You might be a little biased.
I think it was in the 50s, the government wanted to get rid of the Marine Corps because it was just extra money. And there was a public outcry, and basically America just said, we want a Marine Corps. So America doesn't need it. It's just a thing that they want. And they're probably one of the most effective fighting forces on the planet. But yeah, we just get like scraps and shit.
Hmm.
Like we get like a new gun and that's it. Everything else is just used. Like I remember when I was in, we literally got old Army gas masks, but they look like they were way fucking better than the ones we had before. They're like the bastard child of the armed forces, and they're fucking crazy and really dumb.
At
But I think
work,
that's why they're so effective.
my boss was a Marine, and one of my coworkers was Coast Guard, and one of my other coworkers, he wasn't officially part of the United States Armed Forces, but he did work a lot with Special Forces, doing stuff that he hasn't elaborated on, and so everybody I work with is like military guys, and they all talk shit about the Air Force all the time.
Yeah, Air Force is just like a corporation.
They're like, yeah, we had a bunch of Air Force guys in, and they wouldn't eat the food that we were offering them. They were like, this is disgusting. We're like, sorry, it's not a filet mignon. Like,
That's for real, dude. It was so, God, you had to put up with so much shit when you were in the Marines because the chow halls that we eat at are like the equivalent of a Goodwill because it's a special, like, it's a civilian food company that hires like mentally disabled people and they literally feed us prison food. I think it was called food grade D, and it says not fit for public consumption on the box.
wow.
And that's the food that
must
we
be
get.
good.
It was fucking terrible. The only thing I ever ate was like the cheeseburgers, the fries, and then the omelets that they had in the morning because they would actually, you'd see them make omelets with eggs. But like the Chinese food on Wednesdays was just a bad idea. Everything, like, it looks like it should taste good and it smells like it should, but it just doesn't.
Huh.
And then I go on an army base and fucking just a random ass chow hall that they've got, and it was like goddamn eating at Sherry's. I was so jealous. And an Air Force base is even, I don't know what the next step up from a Sherry's would be, but It's pretty high up there.
Like
Denny's. Fuck off.
Sterling's maybe.
Sterling's? Yeah, maybe Sterling's. Man, I'm sad how they closed Denny's, or not Denny's, but Sherry's here in Richland.
I know, right? I was sad whenever they restricted their hours so they weren't all night, and then I was sad again whenever they closed down completely.
One in Kennewick just isn't as good.
No. It's also really far away, comparatively.
Close to me. I've never been to the Richland one.
It was delicious.
Oh well.
Oh yeah, I suppose you're not very, you're like, what, a mile and a half from it?
Which one?
The one in Kennewick.
Yeah, about a mile.
Yeah.
I'm on the border. Border patrol. How long were you in the Marines for?
4 years,
Why?
because that's just how long the.
No, I mean, why'd you join?
You
because I wasn't gonna do anything with my fucking life, and I had to do something.
Were
you
you 18?
you told this story in the
was
last podcast. You said like something happened, and then immediately after it, you were like, okay, so then I went and joined the Marines.
Oh, I
because of
got
that."
arrested for smoking pot. I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but I got arrested. We were smoking weed in the back of my friend's
That's
truck
right. Yeah.
on a dirt road, and I didn't even think that we were right next to city shops, like where they store all their copper wiring for their telephone, like lines and power lines and shit. And so a cop just came by and was just like, "Wow, there's this truck parked out here. What the fuck?" And then we were just high as fuck in the back playing our DSs, and then we went to jail. And then right after that, I was like, "Fuck, I gotta do something." So I asked the judge to like wipe it off my record. He did, and then I just joined. One of the biggest mistakes in my goddamn life. I should join the Air Force. Or went to school and become an officer.
Military officer?
Yeah, all you need is like a bachelor's in anything, I think, and you can qualify to become an officer. You just got to go through officer candidate school, which isn't easy. Did you say you're
But then
border
what?
patrol?
No, I mean,
Oh,
kind of like Richland border.
oh, gotcha.
Hearted joke.
Eh.
No,
I don't know. There's a cop in here, so I was like, oh, maybe there's another one.
there's a cop in here? Who's the
Yeah.
cop?
In the Discord, his name is Thumbledore. His real name's Miles.
Interesting.
He's a state patrol. He was in Seattle. He just recently moved to Utah. There's actually an interesting video. I've been trying to find it on Facebook for like a year now because I had it once before and lost it. But there's an interesting video where they're during the 2020 like riots. There's like something to the tune of like 200 people sitting on the freeway, and he was the only one nearby. And so like there's this, traffic camera footage of like this one police cruiser pulling up and just this one guy getting out to face down this mob of people, and it's Miles. I was like, and then like that night, I was like, so how'd that make you feel? And he was like, fucking terrified.
Yeah, that's just gotta be scary.
How did it end?
That
Did he just leave?
he told him to go away, and they went away.
Oh,
Well,
that's
it
surprising.
It was a peaceful protest, but it was still just like,
I mean, it was a
on the
lot.
highway.
yeah, it's
They
just a
yelled.
lot of
There was a
people.
lot of altercations. Not
Yeah.
physical, but yeah. Traumatizing. Man, that was a crazy fucking time.
I mean, it's been
2020 election?
crazy since.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't stopped being crazy, really.
Yeah, it
Well,
kind
I
of died
think-
down since 2016.
I think it's just gonna get worse this summer, like really worse,
Why?
because it's gonna get warm and people will be outside all the time.
But why are
Yeah.
they? What do they have to be angry about now?
I don't know.
Everything else, or you think
There's-
something new will
There's
happen?
gonna be they always find something to be angry about.
I mean,
It's
Joe,
kind of like what they're really good at, isn't it?
Joe Biden. People are just
Well-
perpetually mad about Joe Biden.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
people like Joe Biden.
People
Do
are
they?
perpetually mad about.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, I'm a liberal and I don't like Joe Biden, so who the fuck? Tell me who likes Joe Biden.
I don't mind him.
That's
I think he's
weird.
an idiot, but why?
This is you of all people.
Well, I think most presidents are kind of puppets. So
I mean, yeah,
he's
they've
just like an outward showing one. He doesn't lie about it.
they've all sucked for a
He's
while.
literally just gone on record. It was in the '80s where he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just their yes man. Like they just pay
Yeah.
me and I do what they want."
I saw a couple compilation videos a couple days ago of First one was Trump, and then in the suggested videos was one of Biden, and it was almost exactly the same video, but it was just them wandering off during times where they're supposed to be there for something, like they're giving a press conference or something. They just kind of like,
Old.
kind of just walk away, and somebody like runs across the stage to like kind of usher them back, like, hey, we still need you here. You can't leave yet. You haven't signed the bill.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, we need somebody who isn't like fucking 100 years old to be president. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be a
Yang
nice.
Gang, Andrew Yang.
I'd vote for Yang if he was in rotation again.
He is. He has his own party now, though. He's not a Democrat anymore.
That's good. Democrats suck.
Yang's in it.
We'll see how far
Biden
they
said he'd
get
be
with
in
that.
it. If Biden's not, Kamala will be in it. Trump said he'd run, but I don't think that'll happen.
I don't think Trump's officially said he's going to run. I think he's alluded to it.
Well, he hasn't officially. He said, "Yeah, if I won, I'd win," and everyone's like, "Ah, sure you would."
Well, he doesn't
Um,
need to run. He's already the true president, according to.
DeSantis from Florida.
I think DeSantis would probably be one of the. Well, I don't know what would fucking happen, but
I hope he'd win. I think he's a good
Yeah.
guy.
he's.
And
he's
then-
got a good head on his shoulders.
What's his? Gavin Newsom from California is gonna run.
Man.
So, and then, oh yeah, Pete Buttigieg's gonna go for VP.
Buttigieg.
He's the Secretary of Transportation.
Yeah. I hear that name all the fucking time. 'Cause
He
it's just a
ran.
really unique name.
I think he ran in the 2016 or 2020 election and
He,
lost.
he ran
really
in 2020.
badly.
Yeah.
Was it 20? Okay, yeah.
He,
He was doing pretty well, and then he said he wanted to ban all assault weapons, and people were like, "Well,
Whoa, buddy.
that's a bit too far."
You remember Gary Johnson?
Buttigieg
voted
didn't
for
seem
him.
like a
I voted for
terrible
him too.
candidate, but he also didn't
Very
seem like a good one.
I don't know,
seems
I think
like
he's
he-
young.
He seemed really reasonable to me.
Who are you talking about?
Gary
Johnson.
Oh, I'm still talking about Buttigieg.
Yeah. well,
Like he
I don't
seemed
know,
like
Buttigieg's pretty great.
extra mediocre.
Cheggy?
Yeah.
I don't know. He had me, and then he lost me. Gary Johnson, he's just a weirdo. I don't know
He's
if he's
weird.
presidential material, but
I just want
Like,
somebody
yeah.
that's not in on all the just something different, man. That's why I was like-
I don't think that's gonna happen though.
No, it's never.
I think
gonna
our
happen.
best chance was Bernie Sanders.
I-
as much
yeah,
as I don't agree with him.
I'm a big Bernie
The whole
fan.
goddamn system is just rigged at this point. I think.
Even
At
if
this
you
point, it's been.
even if you don't agree with Bernie, like you could recognize
I
that he
think-
like gave a shit, whereas
Yeah.
most of them probably don't. Like the vast majority probably don't. But like you can just tell watching him, he's like, oh, he has something he cares about, and that's something. Like
Mhm.
He is fucking old.
he's really old, yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. What about Supreme Court new Justice Jackson got put in?
Oh yeah, I
Is
saw
that
that.
the one that everybody was complaining about just recently?
Yeah, the only downside, there's like one downside to her I saw. Everything else is pretty positive. She's like has historically given light sentences to pedophiles.
Yeah, I heard about that. There was the whole thing with her about not being able to define what a woman was.
Yeah, that's
That's
stupid.
literally-
they're harassing her.
That's literally the only thing I know about her.
I think because they can't find anything else bad. The only other bad thing that I think that no one else will talk about is she was the judge that resided over the Pizzagate court. The Pizzagate court case.
I still don't know what Pizzagate is. I still don't know what most things ending in gate are. I only know Watergate and
Oh.
Gamergate.
I
only
don't
know
even know
about Pizzagate.
Watergate.
Yeah, Watergate so fucking far back. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Pizzagate was actually it was very interesting.
It was some crazy shit that
Yeah.
is like kind of real, kind of not.
Somebody want
Pretty
to
much,
summarize?
someone's. I don't know if it was Hillary's or someone else's emails got leaked.
Hillary's.
Was it Hillary's?
Yep.
And a massive leak, and they were all over the internet. This one dude read them, and some of the emails suggested that there's a massive pedophile ring going on, and one of the locations for the ring was this pizza place. Whatever, something Star Pizza.
Yeah.
And the logo for the pizza place was also a pedophile, like a logo that they would put on like identifiers that the FBI even said that that's how they track pedophiles was with this logo, and the company rebranded after the incident. But The
Yeah,
guy
they
came
were
in.
like talking in code in the emails. Like they would
Yeah,
order different
they
types.
would never they would
food.
never say real stuff. They're like, oh, the big man, like the big girl, like blah blah blah, and then
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Or they would
There's a
order
bunch of
like
different shit.
they would order food, and they would like put different condiments on them to like specify what kind of kid they wanted.
Yeah,
That's
that was happening with some random ass like online store, like furniture store. Like they'd be like
That was
like
some
$5,000
different too.
chairs or something like that. But
Well, there were a lot of missing kids, and there were like these like $10,000 lockers, but it
Yeah.
had the child's name on the locker. That's what the locker was called,
Crazy.
like Allison Simpson or some shit.
that's bizarre as shit.
Yeah,
no, those pedophiles for selling kids.
yeah, dude. They were just
But
you got to get crafty with the way they move them.
anyway, the dude showed up to the place with a gun and demanded to go downstairs. They didn't let him go downstairs. He was arrested. He's out of prison now. He was in prison for like a year or two and then got out because he didn't do anything violent. But the owner of Pizzagate is really good friends with the Clintons, and they like there's pictures of the Clintons inside like the building, like eating pizza and hanging out with everyone. So nothing came out of it. It's just super suspicious. And the one like judge that goes really light on pedophile cases was the one who resided over it. So that's the whole thing.
Ghislaine Maxwell
Just
trial. Ghislaine.
I think
Ghislaine
the
Face
S is
Maxwell.
actually silent. I think it's Jelaine.
I think it's Ghislaine.
Ghislaine sounds good. Like the whole craziness with her trial and how it was just basically just a circus show.
What happened? I didn't even see.
They wouldn't
She's
let
still
any.
alive?
Yeah, she's still alive. They
Yeah,
wouldn't
she hasn't
let
been
any
Epsteined yet.
reporters in. But like it wasn't even really a trial. They would just like, we don't really have any questions for this. Like both sides were like, we don't have any questions for this witness, and they would just move on. And it was just that. I actually don't remember what happened to it. I just remember watching what was going on and thinking like, this is a goddamn joke.
I think she actually got convicted of something, but they like didn't have any evidence of victims that they were willing to release, and so like
Yeah,
there's a running joke in Reddit comments that's like Ghislaine Maxwell, the one who was convicted with no victims or something like that, and it's just like, because obviously shit went down, but
They fucked up with Epstein, and they were like, well, we can't do that again, so let's figure something else out. People are
What if
still
he did kill
talking.
himself though? That's the big conspiracy.
Yeah, but I don't believe it.
Nobody believes it, but nobody does anything about
Well, nobody does anything about it, but nobody did anything about the Panama Papers either, and that was a big fucking deal. Like, just the fact that the cameras went down for a very short amount of time, and then suddenly he was found hanging after like the last thing he'd publicly said was that he wasn't suicidal. Like, that whole thing is just, it's so obvious that the fact that nobody does anything about it kind of just like makes you feel apathetic about it. It's like, oh, nothing will ever come of this because the corruption goes all the way down.
Yeah, it's at that point, it's like, who do you go to? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Ted Kaczynski and his manual. He's planned for this exact instance.
Yeah, who's this?
But
Elaborate on
Ted
this.
Kaczynski? He's a hero of mine. Pretty much. Well, I don't know. It makes you think like when all these like politicians and like upper level people are like diddling kids. I mean,
The Unabomber?
do they? Yeah, him.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was. Yeah, I got you now.
Do these diddlers all just want positions of power to keep doing it, or do they get into position of power and then they start diddling? How does it work?
It makes you
I don't
wonder,
think
like, what's
any-
the cause and
None of
effect
the
here?
average Joes are doing this. It's always people with power for some reason.
Yep.
It's like as soon as you get elected, it's like, okay, well, you gotta take one for the team. Bring Timmy
Yep.
over here.
I wonder if they just
Well,
like.
that was one of the things that I remember Alex Jones had talked about one day, where they bring, if you want to get in their circles, basically what they do is they put you in front of a camera and force you to do all sorts of like extremely incriminating things, and they're just like, all right, well, you're part of us now. If you want to
Mhm.
jump off, then we'll just show this to everyone else.
I wonder if they get into positions of power and they have unlimited money to do whatever they want, unlimited money and influence, and then they just eventually get bored. And they're like, "What haven't I done yet? Oh, little kids."
Yeah.
Do you think Bill Gates is banging kids?
I
Or
mean,
like Elon?
I don't know. Like, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Some actors are getting real close, like Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, he's always with like 19-year-old girls.
Speaking of Leo
Is that just
DiCaprio,
him? Like, what?
fucking
Just go
Riley,
back
have you
to
seen Don't Look Up?
No, but I know what it's about.
Yeah, that's
Pretty good.
Cringy.
Yeah, it hurts to watch because it's too real. It's just
Dude, I
It-
don't agree.
it. Well, you haven't seen it, but
Such fear mongering.
it's not that. It's just
See, that's the thing I think that it was supposed to like evoke in a lot of people
It's-
because I know people on both sides of the political spectrum and they all seem to like think that it's pointed at them, but I think that's the point. It's
yeah.
supposed to like make fun of everybody.
About
And
climate. Yeah, but
It's not even. I mean, it's just like a whole. It has like it's a perfect, I think, example of like, oh shit, I gotta get my dad up. Be right back.
It's a perfect example of there's a handful of sane people and there's like a major problem going on and they're trying to do something about it and like the entire world is completely fucking crazy and they just like the president won't fix the problem because they're worried about the midterms coming up in 3 weeks and the media won't fix the problems because they're too busy worrying about some celebrity relationship that just failed. And just watching the movie, it was just like towards the end of the movie, it's literally just it parodies like certain political rallies and things so hard that it's like I it's almost indistinguishable from real life, except that the situation that's at the forefront is obviously fictional.
yeah. I guess I do enjoy parodies. As long as they're, well, even if they're making fun of one side, I don't really care. They're pretty funny. But I don't know. Any movie that's just like the world is ending because of, well, I guess it's an asteroid. It's not really climate change, is it?
Yeah, no, it's there's a comet coming towards Earth. The scientists, like all of the science lines up, like all of the major universities and things agree. They're like, oh yeah, this is like a 99.7% chance it's gonna hit Earth. It's an extinction level event, and then just like nobody will listen. And so that's why it's upsetting to watch, is because just like, hey, you idiots, like we're all gonna die in like 5 months. Like do something about it. And everybody's just like, eh. Like the whole world collectively just kind of doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I like it and don't like it. I like it because it's fun parody. I don't like it because I feel like that is definitely a metaphor for climate change and how people don't really listen.
Oh yeah,
to,
they probably squeezed in some
science.
political bullshit in there.
Well, you know, they definitely did. Like that was the whole movie, but still,
Yeah,
I
the whole
enjoyed
movie
it.
was about it, but yeah, they were probably serious about some things. But I loved it. I thought
Yeah.
that was great.
It was super entertaining.
Speaking of
regardless.
climate change,
Not real.
shit.
Let's get
Well,
into it.
technically, the climate has been changing for like ever since the planet has been.
Yeah, it goes through cycles. Like it's a
Yeah,
real
did
Did you
thing.
know
but
that it has
Right, now
been,
it's
it has
hot out.
both been 28 degrees hotter and colder than it is today on average?
Hmm.
So at some point in history, it was 28 degrees warmer on average and colder. Just rapidly, just all throughout history.
So on April 8th of however many years ago, it was 100 degrees during the day in Washington.
Yeah.
That sucks for those people.
Well, I'm talking like
Oh,
instead of
man.
it being 100 degrees, it's 128 degrees. Like,
Well, no, it
That
got up to
level of
71 today. That's why.
yeah, I don't. That's the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever smelled.
What is
Harley, what
specifically?
is it? Yeah, climate change. Well, the whole political
Uh,
like rallying around it.
Well, I mean, I think climate change is definitely something to be aware of, but what bothers me about it is like, we have rampant problems like this. Climate change aside, we do have rampant problems with pollution. There's big islands of garbage in the ocean,
I've
but
never seen that garbage.
but the thing about it is like, companies try to put it back on the people. It's like, oh yeah, recycle your Coke bottles and drink out of paper
Yeah,
straws.
corporations are
and stuff.
responsible for
Yeah,
70.
don't blame China.
But yeah,
for
no, it's cruise
all
ships
the
and
shipping chips.
it's
flying
it's
around.
cruise ships and massive factories and like they're like 98% of the problem, and then they try to put it back on
Well,
the
it's
consumer.
literally, I think it was like 73% of all the world's pollution is coming from just the corporations,
yeah.
just what they do.
And so to horrifically inconvenience the end user is not the correct answer. But you know, it's like there was something I saw just today where Bill Nye, like, or a puppet of Bill Nye that was voiced by Bill Nye, was doing a thing in collaboration with Coca-Cola that was like, oh, recycle your bottles because this and this and this. And it's like, yeah, no, Coca-Cola is polluting the earth a lot more than people who drink Coca-Cola. Like, guaranteed.
I like the analogy of it's just like they rallied around climate change to get rid of plastic straws. Now they buy their paper straws and plastic wrappers. It's just a fucking circus show. I actually almost dated a chick that was super into that type of shit.
Oh, but those girls are hot, so it's okay.
She was hot.
I mean,
But-
if they'll use a paper straw willingly, they'll put anything in their mouth. So,
Well, that was actually when I first got introduced to the concept of how climate change is racist. if you can
excuse me.
believe it. Yeah. So
My guess.
apparently,
I'm gonna guess. A lot of black people live next to the water.
I would
don't
think
know,
they
man.
would specifically avoid water, but that's just a stereotype.
that was the last time I talked to her, but she was going to a rally where apparently the entire climate change phenomenon or movement is racist at its core,
Yeah.
and so that they were going to go fight against that. I won't bang that. That's a little
I would.
that's a little far out for
Nah, that sounds really hot.
me.
That's definitely my type.
Shit, man, just go to Seattle. They're all over the place over there.
Yeah, I know, but the. I mean, I lived in Seattle for a couple of years, but I was kind of like, it made me into an incel. It was too much. Started
It
dating women.
made me into an incel.
Yeah, Seattle for it wasn't my fault.
I
The
work with
city made me.
It just fucking got its claws in you.
Mm-hmm.
so one of the characters from the dream that I described earlier, Randy, he fully embraces like the dirty old man stereotype, and just says weird like uncalled for shit all the time. And today, I needed a key for a server closet that I didn't have access to, and he's the person to talk to about that. And so I was talking to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we'll go up to security and get you a key. You're supposed to have one anyway." And as we're walking up there, he goes, "Hey, so did you see the art gallery today?" And I was like, "Well, I saw they were setting something up in it, but I don't know what." And he's like, "Yeah, there's this girl. She's real slim, if that's your type. She's got piercings and stuff, and it's all like nude art of herself. So if you want to stop by there, that's something to consider." And I was like, "God damn it, Randy!" Like, there's one time we were standing around in a conference talking about wireless access points, which is an acronym, and he like walks over to my coworker Sean, and he kind of elbows him in the side. He's like, "Hey, you know what WAP means?" It's like, shut the fuck up, Randy. I mean, it's hilarious, but it's still like, come on, man.
Ukraine's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Like,
I just watched a video today from a guy. He's got terminal brain cancer, and he was in Ukraine actually a couple times where this all went down, and he was like breaking it down. Like, he goes, "It's way worse than what everybody's reporting." He's like, when you see like hundreds of people have died, he's like, no, there's like tens of thousands of people have died.
yeah, no, I'm sure all the news is just completely inaccurate. Like,
It's like it's like a full on war in Europe.
Yeah.
Like total. Like,
yeah.
and a lot of people don't. Or at least a lot of
Russia's
people that I
getting
know.
dicked. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know
They
what?
both get dicked.
You know what the Ukrainians need to bolster their resistance is just a little bit of this,
Hentai?
a little bit of
What is that?
go on
Can-
focus,
Old Star.
a little bit of Gold Star lip balm,
They probably couldn't get the top off.
maybe a Labs key card.
Mm.
Oh my god, you really got into Tarkov, didn't you?
Yeah, we all did, man. You relate to the game.
I thought it was a stupid game. I was right.
It is a stupid game.
It is a
But I
stupid
hate
game.
it
It's still fun.
every
It's
day.
still addictive as hell, though.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I used to like it, but I just can't do it anymore.
Why not?
I think
Pretty
next
much.
wipe.
It's
Brain
too
power.
goddamn tedious. There was a lot of fucking bullshit deaths.
I think
A lot of
next wipe
hackers.
we should jump in hardcore and get back to that golden era where we were doing those woods
Yeah, man.
thermals
If we
night
got
runs.
thermals and woods was dope.
If you
Woods
could
is
still
dope.
day trade, I would play the shit out of Tarkov.
That was another reason why I left, because they neutered the fucking market.
Yeah.
Oh, with the found and raid.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Before they added that found and raid rule, I spent more time day trading blue tape than I did actually like running around shooting
Why
things.
blue tape? Was that even? It's like worth nothing.
Well, there was just several things that were really volatile in prices. There was spark plugs, blue tape, and a couple other things. And just at the time, it was you just fill your inventory with blue. I was a blue tape mogul. I made
It was an
Millions.
anarcho-capitalist wet dream.
I made
That's
millions off of millions of rubles off of blue tape.
How many hours did you put into the blue tape marketing?
Big tape.
I don't know, probably
Big tape corporations.
Yeah.
it was probably like 60-40 out of every 100 hours I would play Tarkov. I would be spending the 60%
That's
playing.
insane. But why?
It was just fun. I just enjoyed it.
It
Like
was-
the same reason I
Do it
enjoyed
in
trading
real life,
crypto
get
and
rich
stuff.
In real life.
Yeah, just start slinging tape, yo.
Just buy the duct tape company.
I don't know. It's fun, but I hate playing by myself. It turns
Yeah,
into
it's
like a
not
horror
very
game.
fun. It's
Well, yeah, you
stressful.
gotta have a friend to play with. Don't you usually play with Colton?
No, he is like he's busy every day of his fucking life.
He literally told me 2 days ago that he was like, "Yeah, I only play Tarkov whenever Riley plays."
No, he plays once every 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Or
I
about
could have sworn
one
I'd seen him on
game.
more often than that.
No, it's not often very much.
You ever played
Usually when
Hunt-
he's free, he
Hunt
just
Showdown?
bangs his girlfriend.
Is he still with that same girl who was into canned wine?
Mm.
I don't know.
What?
It was wrong with canned wine.
Well, because he was like, he told me that he was like, yeah, my this was early in their relationship. He was like, yeah, my girlfriend's a canned wine enthusiast, and I was like, Colton, there's no such thing as a canned wine enthusiast. That's called being an alcoholic. Like, you only drink canned wine because you can get it at fucking 7-Eleven. Like, you don't drink it because it's good.
No, there's like bougie canned wine brands now.
That's no.
Yeah, there are. I'm starting to see a lot of them.
That's
actually.
BS.
No, especially around here, and they're more expensive than the bottle.
I am an expert on this topic. That is BS.
Yeah,
An
maybe you're
expert? You're an
a
expert
poor
on
expert.
drinking gin.
I've drank other things than gin.
Oh, that's not what
You've
I heard.
snorted gin.
No, that sounds horrific.
You've never lived.
I'm not gonna try it
Snorting.
just because that
Let's see.
statement.
I know you got a bottle somewhere. Let's bump up the ratings.
Snorting gin it's a lifestyle.
It's a
Once you get it
lifestyle.
up there, I don't know. It wakes you up.
You just get myself a neti pot,
Yeah,
Fill it
just
up.
fill with gin.
the real sinus cleanse.
It hurts. Awesome.
Cleans it out.
Yeah, Colton's probably with the same girl. I don't know. What other games are there other than Tarkov that
Hunt
highly-
Showdown is like
I
probably
heard
the
that's the other big one.
yeah, that one's
that
actually a
people
lot of
get
fun.
into. And then Icarus,
Icarus is I
Bummy.
I didn't enjoy it.
You should play with us one of these days after we've like put a day into a particular prospect. Because
That's how I always just hop in. You guys
Yeah.
are always like done.
Is it like Rust, where you just have to like start from shit and then?
it's
build up,
it's
or-
similar to Rust in terms of how you build, but you have like a
Then why wouldn't you just play Rust?
well, because it's different. You have a time limit. There's no PvP. I mean, you can kill each other, but
There's
typically
no
you co-op.
PvP.
Correct.
How can I have fun?
I don't know. I have fun building stuff. Like,
Oh my gosh, play Minecraft.
like I had this really cool stone workshop that we'd put together. Like, upgrading to stone is actually a shit ton of work. I'd probably put like 20 hours into that one prospect, but it was fun. It was cool. It was like satisfying. It was like, hey, look at this really amazing house that we have and all these resources. Like,
But what do you do with it? I mean, what's the point?
you
leave.
fulfill the objective and then leave and then start over. Like, Colton had me try to explain this to him the other day, and I like as I was explaining it, I was like, yeah, this does sound stupid, but I enjoy it still. So
Played it because you bought the game for me,
I mean,
and then we played a little bit, and I was just like, I'm sorry, but this is just a waste of time.
I mean,
hated it.
If you ever
Check
want
it
to
out.
play it again, feel free. If you don't, also feel free. I don't care
I mean,
that much.
I know that they updated it, so I was gonna hop in just to say I have, so I know.
They've
for
added
sure,
so much stuff.
but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that.
The quality, like, and to answer your question of why not play Rust, is because every time that you get other people to agree to play Rust, they play it for like one day, and then you get to the point where you have like a nice base built up, and you start crafting C4, and you're like, all right, we're finally ready to do a raid with people, but it's like 1 a.m. Let's all go to bed and reconvene
Yeah.
tomorrow, and then tomorrow never comes. And so you have all these
Never played
resources
it.
that there's just nobody online to fucking have fun with anymore because they're all burnt out on like one day.
So why is this game better?
I don't know,
It's like do
Because
the
you
same
can-
thing and then just
because you can play it solo and still have a good time.
Mm.
I guess is the biggest selling point.
But I can't kill kids.
I mean, you could.
Shoot
Me and
other
Matt and
people.
Miles kill each other all the time.
I don't know. Well, is there like AI?
There's animals.
Bears and wolves and shit.
Oh.
Particularly dangerous bears. Like if a bear aggro's on you, they don't have at least like a really high tier knife or a gun or something, then you're Dunsky.
What was the other game that we were playing for a while? Shit. I have too many games in my inventory to look.
I just want Valheim to have a big update
That's what it was.
so that we can go back to that, because that was some of the most fun I've ever had.
I like Valheim. That was a good game.
Valheim
I
was
went crazy on that
fantastic.
game. Ugh. But it's kind of impossible to play by yourself.
Well, and also it doesn't have much replayability once you've done everything. Like you get past the past boss and it's just, or the last boss, and it's just like, oh, there's nothing else to do now.
Hmm.
So we're just kind of waiting, sitting tight for them to add another biome and another boss to throw yourself at.
Never played it.
I wouldn't.
It's not what
Yeah,
everyone else
it's
is
not
saying.
It's a fun game, but it's just so grindy.
I would say whenever you get the next, or whenever the next update comes out, you should join us for it, because I know me and Ethan and Miles, at the very least, are going to jump back into it, like, full send.
I've just been so busy lately putting together my RPG that I just fucking I can't look at a video game and be like, well, I can be working on. Yeah, I'm making a Dungeons and Dragons RPG.
Yeah, Sam's
Oh,
a like seasoned dungeon master,
I thought you meant like
like a game,
RPG.
like a video game.
like RPG 7, like Grenade
Oh,
Launcher.
like a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
I mean, that'd be dope.
I know.
You could paint it all custom.
I'm
I mean,
excited.
I paint rifles and shit.
Real rifles?
Yeah.
What do you have?
I have an AR-15, a couple
kind?
shotguns. What?
What
The
kind of
rifle?
AR-15? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It's just a Frankenstein of a whole bunch of crazy shit.
What's
Can
the
you
lower?
can you show it off on the podcast?
I could. It's in my house. I don't even fucking remember. I built it like
I'm gonna keep that thing on me
4 years ago.
You just have it in you just sleep with it.
every night.
Night.
Every night. Locked and loaded.
How many rounds you got in the mag?
30.
How many rounds you got in all your other mags?
None.
Oh.
I know. Kind of gay.
Yeah.
But
I was just gonna say, don't put more than 28.
Why not?
then you get feet issues.
Nah,
It's bad for the spring.
If you fire till the bolt closes, and you try to put a magazine with 30 rounds in it, it's a lot harder than you think to seat because of the pressure on the spring. And that's coming from people who made bodies all the time. They teach you in the Marines to only put 28 rounds in.
You're saying if I have a bolt closed,
Yeah.
I can't put 30 rounds in.
No, you can. It's not, if you're like in the thick of it and shit, it's not guaranteed that you're going to be able to seat that thing all the way up.
In suburbia.
Oh, you know what? I got something, because Riley, I haven't seen you in person in like several years. I'll be right back.
Oh, no.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to go get mine. Hold on.
Oh. Okay, bye everyone.
So I've got this bad boy that I haven't had a chance to fire yet. It's a
What is that?
4570. Breech loading.
Oh Jesus.
One single shot.
Mhm.
But yeah, I haven't been to the range since I got this gun, and so I'm excited
Don't
to
go to
try
a
it out.
range. Rangers for babies.
Well, no, we have friends who are CSOs at the range, and they can get in after hours, and so there's
Oh,
just
never mind.
nobody
Go to the
there.
range. That's
So
way better. 100%.
yeah, yeah, hell
Take
yeah,
all back. After hours. That's sick.
yeah.
I just go up to over by Benton City and just go shoot out there. But no targets. I need to figure out how to shoot targets, or make some at least. But anyway.
My guy.
Oh, she's painted.
Yeah.
It's
This is
custom.
the
It's
first
custom
Hollow
Tri Cities painted even.
Sun.
It's the first one I ever did though, so it kind of looks like dog shit.
You have a laser on the side?
No, no, that's just a flashlight.
Oh, what brand?
ProTech.
Hmm.
It's a pistol flashlight, but it didn't fit on my pistol, so I just
You
slapped
still
it
on the
on here,
rifle.
and then I train with it, so I just pop over and hit the button with my thumb, and it works. I can't figure out why I need it. And then I got the 3 times on the Hollow Sun, which I didn't think I'd like, but I actually really love.
Is there any blue in the magnifier?
No, it's a little green, but it's honestly not noticeable.
I really want to fire that thing now that my hair isn't like so long that it was getting in my eyes. Because like whenever you guys let me try it out before, I couldn't even look through the fucking sights because like my hair kept getting in my face.
And the 3-point. A lot of people
Why
talk shit
3-point?
about it. I love it.
Is that what you trained with?
It's what I used when I carried it in the Marines, and I just was like, "Fuck, I love this thing."
Oh.
But
I
yeah,
got 3-point, but I have no idea how to use it.
Riley, I'm a gun enthusiast now. Sort
You
of. Yeah.
Yeah, when it's just had literally a bunch of guns just fall on his fucking lap out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
I haven't spent a single dollar on guns or ammunition, but I have like probably 6 guns.
Do you have any high capacity magazines?
I do not.
You should buy some before they get banned.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't happened already.
July 1st,
In Washington or the nation?
Washington. So, I bought 23.
I do have this 9mm that my grandpa
60s
gave me.
or what?
30s.
Hmm.
60s are expensive.
Oh,
But wait,
they're
is
talking
that
like
up?
30 high capacity mags?
Oh, they're limiting it to 10
Oh my fucking god.
on July 1st.
I was
But
gonna say 30 isn't high capacity. That's standard.
Colton's calling me. Let's see what he has to say. Hi.
Shalom.
Shalom.
What's happening?
Talking about guns with couple Steckelsteins of mine. Yeah, some gun nuts, fellow anti-ATF enthusiasts.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
To Jared Morris.
Jared Morris, dude, I would eat that guy.
He was big regulations because he was saying that because of the influx of e-bikes, people have been looking at like crash statistics. The statistics are very swayed because it's like, you know, some retard without a helmet is biking on an e-bike like 50 miles an hour, and you know they wreck it and their head explodes. So they're trying to regulate bikes. They've been talking about this for decades, but it's like a big deal now to bikes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing I don't have any
So
ambitions of
basically
being
you have to, like, pay
monetized.
tabs and stuff. You have to be like a register. It's so dumb.
Anyway, what's up?
To scoop you up.
Um,
At my dad's tonight. Just whenever you want, we can. You hop in my car. I'll take you to my house.
Yeah.
And we'll.
can we plan this in like an hour?
Sure.
Okay.
There's not much to plan. Just the time.
Tell him to get on the podcast.
Yeah, you know.
Harley, I'm talking to Harley right now. He wants you to get on the podcast.
The one
You're
that-
on it right now. Yeah, say a slur.
Why'd you answer your phone on the podcast?
I always answer for you.
The laws.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I know. All right, love you too. Bye.
Anyway, so this is my favorite
Yeah,
because
yeah. Point
shoots
at me.
357 and it's very fun
Point
to
at me.
shoot. What?
Point at the screen so it like looks like you're pointing at me.
No, it's like the 1950s. I can't do that on TV
Why not?
because the
Anyway, yeah, 10-round magazine is.
FCC will get pissed
Show me your
off.
guns. But they're grandfathering in all the old ones. So if you have a standard,
They
class
won't be able to
magazine-
fucking tell where you got it. and when.
Exactly. You don't have to prove it. So if you have possession of it, it's legal. That no gun stores can sell it or ship it to Washington.
Road
So you
trips to
just-
Idaho. Or
Yeah,
like
you can just go to
Oregon.
Idaho and buy a shitload and then come back, and then they can't prove that you went to Idaho.
Well,
It's stupid.
it is fucking stupid.
So I bought a bunch.
I already have a bunch. In fact, I don't even know what to fucking do. I'm like, why do I need so many goddamn magazines?
Just in case.
Just to have them? Yeah, I guess.
Ruby Ridge.
Just in case Russia comes directly to your doorstep.
Fuck, man.
Exactly.
I'm not worried about Russia. I'm worried about the feds.
Yeah,
Don't worry about- local
just in case
police.
Riley's secret police show up at your house in the middle of the night to spirit you
My
away. 'cause-
Gestapo. My Gestapo would be unstoppable if I had one.
Well, no, not like ran by you, but the one that you described to me as the demons of the gun registry, however many moons
Oh,
ago.
the ATF.
Yeah,
Yeah, well.
your
kinda
name's
bad
on the
now,
list.
but-
You're gonna go.
Oh,
You got
yeah,
any,
I mean-
you got any solvent catchers?
No. I want one though.
Yeah, I should have jumped on that when it first sort of became a thing, because now they're just as much as a goddamn suppressor.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know. A lot of people that bought those got fucked.
Yeah, because
Same
they're
with like.
just garbage.
Well, I kind of want to get an FRT, but I figured if I'm just gonna do it, why not just
Do it right.
go all the way? You know.
I still don't understand why there's so much goddamn money. It's just a fucking metal tube. Screw on your
Because
gun.
They can charge it. People will pay it. It sells out every time they put it up.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy, but
just for a
Uh.
couple less DBs.
Harley,
Actually,
you start concealed
I
carrying. Oh, what?
Probably not.
Why not? Well, pause. Continue.
No, this is important.
Wait, what are we pausing about?
I'm pausing. Okay.
I said I watched a video that explained why suppressors are so awesome.
They're,
yeah,
they're just.
It has
Great
nothing to
for
do
your
with like
ears.
dampening the sound. It actually has everything to do with being really difficult to tell where the shots are coming from. Because you can still, unless you're like, it like reduces the sound from like, you can hear it from like 500 meters to 400 meters.
Mhm.
But even if you're 100 meters away and you get shot at by it, you won't know where it's coming from immediately. Not just because you can't see it, because the sound, the way it fucking works, is just hard to.
And that's
fucking-
why I need one for self-defense.
Well, I want one so that my protect my ears. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
And then I'll lose
And they
it.
look sick.
I'll lose it when I'm out in a boat or something. I don't know.
But
I mean,
yeah,
they do look sick.
to answer your question, it's too much of a pain in the ass to figure out or to have to worry about like what places you can and can't carry a gun.
There's
And-
like 2 you can't.
I just always I
There's
just
more
forget
than
that I
that.
have it on me and
No.
I don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's any government building and anywhere where you have to be 21 or older to go.
Yep.
So like weed stores, bars, or like the bar section of Applebee's.
I mean, you can't have it like
courthouses, police stations.
I work at a place where you couldn't have it, and
School. Well, WSU's rules are questionable. The Washington State has given the universities choice on whether or not people can conceal carry on their campus.
yeah, and you can't on our
example,
campus.
Well, you'll get asked to leave. I mean, they won't arrest
Probably
you.
pretty politely too.
And
Yeah.
then there was somebody at Hanford who had like a hunting rifle in their truck, like or not in their truck, in the trunk of their car because they had like gone hunting over the weekend and they got
Mhm.
serious problems from that.
Yeah, well, that's bringing a loaded rifle or even unloaded rifle. That's something else. But
I went from working in an environment where basically everybody thinks that guns are the devil to can I carry more guns on me? Like, is that possible?
mhm. I always thought about carrying 2,
Yeah.
but
I'll do it. But
So you
fuck
just
it.
John Wick 'em, just
Well, like, I think like ankle carry, and then you have to wear jeans, and I don't know.
Well, no, you have a rifle. You have a rifle slung over your back, and then you have one in your front, and then you have a sidearm. It's like Tarkov.
I honestly, I'm kind of my coworker. He's this Hawaiian dude, and he's always wearing layers, no matter what. He's always got like a Hawaiian shirt on that's unbuttoned, and he just carries underneath that,
God, Desert,
which
Desert
looks
Eagle.
so fucking comfortable. And you carry two.
Yeah, I wanted to do shoulder holster when I first started carrying, but that just sounds like so much work.
I'm fat. I can only put it on my right hip. That's the only place that fucking I can carry it without it just digging into my gut.
I don't know. I'm skinny and it still digs in my gut for appendix. I hate appendix carry.
Yeah.
Although you can get a spare magazine, then you're like super tactical.
I just carry it in my pocket.
No, I don't carry one.
I train one. I mean, I don't always bring it with me, but when I train with it just in my pocket.
Just put it down in the front of your pants, you know?
No.
Yeah.
My fucking neighbor just carries one in his belt all the goddamn time. Just baller. We actually talked about it the other day because some really fucking weird thing happened where I was walking my dog and there's a fire hydrant in front of my neighbor's yard and I'm just letting him sniff it and I'm just standing there and suddenly somebody talks to me from the street. There's this like crew of Mexicans in this truck and then this like lowrider fucking Toyota whatever also full of Mexicans, and they just pull up next to me and they go, "Hey, is that your truck?" And there's two trucks to my left, and I went, "What?" They're like, "Is that your truck?" And I went, "No." They're like, "Are you sure that's not your truck?" And I went, "Who the fuck are you?" And then they took off, and I was like, "Well, that was really weird." I'm glad I had my dog chilling here, and because I'm like trying to keep him from going ape shit, and then I go let my neighbor know. He's this cool Mexican dude. And then he's like, "Nah, man, don't worry about it." He's like, "Are you sure they were Mexican? They weren't Colombian?" And I was like, "I can't tell the difference. Their accent was a little off." And he goes, "I think I know who it was." And then he goes, "Come over here." And he just pulls out his AR and then immediately pulls like a scope out of his drawer. And he's like, "Hey, I'll give you this for $200. It's a $400 scope." I'm like, "I think I'm good." But that rifle though. But so then we just sat outside and talked about guns for an hour.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He loves America.
Good.
I don't think that he's a citizen yet, but he's really trying to be.
But that's okay because he
But
loves America.
He values what we got going on here. And there's another Mexican, because I work with a bunch of Mexicans at the pool store I work at, and there's one Mexican guy in particular that'll come in and he's just ultra racist the whole fucking time he's there to the other Mexican dudes. Because he's like, "You motherfuckers, you dumbasses, you come up here and try to like do what you did down there. That shit ain't gonna work. Don't ruin it for the rest of us." He's a pretty cool guy. The guys I work with are actually pretty cool. I got no problem with them. They can't speak English very well, which makes for difficulty when you're trying to communicate, but it is what it is.
I don't know. I ran into that. I used to work with a Hispanic guy who was from Mexico, and he would like hate all the white people he worked with. And I think that was because he came over from Mexico and brought his kids here and wanted to give them a better life. And then he like met all these like young white kids that like didn't give a shit and they're the most lazy people he's ever met. And he's just like, "I can't believe you fucking people, like you don't work for ass." So he just assumed all white people were lazy and started hating them.
I mean, yeah, I could see that sort of, but I mean, there is a lot of fucking lazy white kids. That's for sure.
I know.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Spoiled.
if somebody assumed I was lazy and I wouldn't just try to defend myself, like he's right.
I mean, there's a difference between having no work ethic and being lazy. Because you have good work ethic and just be a lazy person.
I mean,
I'm a lazy person, but I'll work my ass off if I have to.
I don't have great work ethic, and I'm also very lazy. So
There you go.
There you go. At least you're honest.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to change that though?
Mm,
Or are you okay with where you're at?
I think I should have more free time than I do. I think.
How much free time do you have?
Well, I mean, I work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I think that is
Okay.
too much work for a.
Like
I
40
think that is
hours a
more.
week's
I
too
think that's
much.
more work than a human should have to work.
I Are you on that anti-work subreddit?
Yeah, actually, I am because
Oh
a lot
my
of it's right.
God. Oh my god, that shit's so bad, dude. I swear, like half the stuff they post is made up.
Most of the stuff I see is just like,
Hard to tell if people are trolling or not.
yeah,
know.
but most of the stuff that actually gets upvoted on there is just like, oh, here's the terms that they gave me regarding like vacation leave and stuff, and it's just completely unreasonable. It's like, oh,
So just don't work there.
for the
It's
first
that
2
easy.
years of working here, you don't get any sick days, and then for the next year, you get 7 for the whole year, and there's no maternity leave, and there's no like, and it's just like, so they're a slave then? Like what?
Yeah, so just don't work there. I mean, that's
Yeah, get another job.
Yeah, a lot of places are like that though. That's the thing.
okay. So don't work at all
Not
those
where I
places.
work, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I'm not
Everybody's
saying there
talking
aren't
about
good
Amazon all the
places to
time.
work. I'm just saying that there is a widespread, rampant problem of like these entitled corporations thinking that they should be able to take advantage of their employees.
Yeah, I
and
mean, I don't agree with
people
it.
are feeding into that though by accepting the terms, saying like, "Oh, it's the system's problem, not this one company being a cunt."
Yeah. I hear Amazon's
mean-
pretty bad though.
Amazon's
yeah, they
terrible.
shock their employees. It's hilarious. Put them in cages,
Holy shit.
put them
I
in
ca-
wagey cages, and
I
it's hilarious.
kind of doubt that, but
No,
Wait.
no, they actually do. They put them in cages and they shock them.
okay. I'm gonna need a lot more information on this.
You're not gonna get any.
Oh.
No. So they wear little bracelets for like stalking, and it like tracks where they are in the warehouse. And when they have a box, they have to deliver the box to a certain area in the warehouse. If they go the wrong way, the bracelet will shock them, saying, "You're going the wrong way. You need to turn around." And the cages thing is because for people operating, I don't know, like cranes or like little forklifts going on, they used to have like shit fall on them and like break their necks. So they put them in a big cage. So if any fell on them, it would just fall in the cage. It's hilarious.
Well, see, that's horribly misrepresenting. Like whenever if you're just gonna say they're in
Put them
cages.
and you're shocking their employees. It's hilarious. I love Jeff Bezos. He should do it more often. It's amazing.
So I've created 2 businesses before, and I'm currently making another one right now. And I hate fucking working for other people, but there's something really nice being able to just turn my brain off when I get off work and just not give a shit about work. But when you do your own business, you're working 24/7.
Mhm.
Like I took a break to do this podcast, but it's like even while I'm at work, I'm doing shit. It's kind of I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like it never ends. There's definitely a plus to just being a mindless drone sometimes. But if I ever get a business going, I'll get a wagey cage.
Do it. All your employees in cages. Be hilarious. Shock them, make them work 80 hours a week. Oh, you'll like this. This is very anti-work. One of my friends, Cole, he's a workaholic. So he works like literally 80 hours a week, like because he wants to. He doesn't have to. He wants to. He works for a contractor for Hanford, and he's married and he's trying to buy a house, in Tri-Cities, which big mistake. But so he's trying to get even more money. So he's taking all overtime options he can. So he was called out to work at a site on Lamb Weston because they have a bunch of like machines that their company made, and they're gonna restart their operation because they're closed down for a while, and they want some engineers out there. So they say Cole, you need to be out there Sunday at 1 in the morning, and you're gonna work for 15 hours. So that pretty much eliminates Cole's Sunday day and his Saturday and Friday night because he has to completely change his sleep schedule to go out there. But he gets paid, overtime, double time because it's a Sunday and it's a weird time and he doesn't have to go out there. So he's like, okay, I'll ruin my weekend, and go out there to work Sunday 1 a.m. And that time's repeatedly mentioned, Sunday 1 a.m. And he's like, okay. So he drives out there, and this is in it's like 2 hours north of here in some bumhole town. And he gets out there and no one's there. Plant's shut down. So he calls plant manager at 1 in the morning. They answer the call and they're like, yeah, what are you doing? You're there a day early. And he's like, no, Sunday 1 a.m. And the plant manager's like, yeah, it's Saturday. And Cole's like, no, it's definitely Sunday the 27th. And he's like, no, it's Saturday. And the guy didn't realize that the day changes at midnight. And it's actually supposed to be there Monday 1 in the morning.
Oh Christ.
So then he drove all the way home, didn't get any money for his entire weekend. That was the story. There wasn't really a climax.
So they told him Sunday at 1, and then
And then
it
he went
actually
Sunday
turned
at
out to
1,
be.
and then they met Monday at 1 because they're retarded.
Well, that's, if I'm understanding correctly, that sounds like it's their fault, not his.
It is their fault. It's not his fault at all.
Oh, okay.
He just got screwed by this by his company because they're brain dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was hilarious.
Man, speaking of brain dead companies, fuck, dude. I almost quit just recently because of the retarded shit that was. They were remodeling the building,
Mhm.
and like I'm a handyman. I build shit. I paint. I do a little bit of anything. And I told my boss that I was like, listen, I'll come in on Sunday, my day off. We'll paint the chemical room, whatever, make it look nice, the color you want, blah, blah, blah. And so we did. We came in, we taped everything up, the floor, the ceiling, the windows, everything, like you're supposed to do. I convinced them to buy a paint sprayer instead of rent one because it's like the same price. And so we spend a few hours, we paint 3/4 of the room, take everything down, show up on Monday, and the guy that's in charge of the Yakima crew, I guess is second in command of the whole company. I'd never met this guy before, and he was just like, "You guys are going too slow. We're gonna repaint this whole room, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Why? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, we already
You want to
painted it."
repaint what you painted?
Yeah, and I was like, I told my boss that we were just going to spend a couple hours today finishing up the rest of the room and touching up, and that we were going to be done. Maybe 2 days tops doing this, and then we took everything out of the room, or we were starting to tape everything back up before one of his guys just grabbed the paint spray and just started spraying the walls, and like no masks, nothing. He just starts going. We didn't tape anything off. He sprayed the floor, he sprayed the ceiling, the windows, everything. And then I just walked out. I was like, fuck this shit. I ain't going to deal with this. And I started doing stuff for the rest of the day. And then the next day, they come in, they're like, you guys didn't tape off the floor, so we got to scrub all the paint off everything now. And I was like, I didn't do shit. Like, what the fuck? You think this was me? And then they proceeded to mix acetone and like the hardcore goo off, the Gooby Gone shit, which is similar to acetone, like gasoline, but different. And they mixed them both in a mop bucket and then poured it onto the floor, which then melted the floor. And they were just carving up chunks of like gooey linoleum before they were like, well, we should probably stop this. This isn't going to work. And then they had to tear up all the linoleum and then buff the floor after that. And so it ended up being like $10,000 and I don't know, 2 months of work for this fucking room.
Nice.
And
Does
then
it look nice?
it looks nice now, yeah.
Okay.
But the owner, I mean, holy shit, those guys are just lucky I'm not in charge. I don't know. I don't understand how nobody was fired for that horse shit. I think he said that he didn't fire the guy who did it because he was his drywall man.
The custodians at work reseal and wax the floors every 6 months or so. And every single time they use the same like knockoff, not the correct wax or sealant or whatever. And so they will strip the floor, refinish it, and then a month later, some engineering students with a robot that's supposed to follow a line will put electrical tape down on the floor. And as soon as they pull the electrical tape up, it pulls the sealant off of the floor. And so we've had, and then the pandemic happened. Like it happened like 3 times. And then the pandemic happened and nobody gave a shit anymore. And so now we have like lines and squares of just like not shiny parts of the floor, like all over our building. You what?
It's a feature.
It's history.
Yeah.
Speaking of drywall, I got a joke that I heard yesterday. So, it's a good one. Trust me.
Forgive me if I don't laugh.
So, a duck walks into a bar, sits down, and he orders a drink and a side of garlic fries or whatever. The bartender's like, "Holy shit, you're a talking duck." He's like, "Yeah, I get that a lot. Just give me my food and my drink." The bartender's like, "All right." He brings him his food and his garlic fries, and he's like, "So what do you do? Like, what what does a talking duck do with his life? And the duck goes, well, I do drywall. I actually work at the place across the street. That's like my profession. I'm a journeyman. And the bartender's like, that's interesting. Then the conversation kind of falls off. Duck leaves. The next day, a guy comes in and he's wearing like this fully extravagant, like he looks like a freaking weirdo. He's got like vertical blue and red stripes all up and down his body, you know, slicked back hair and stuff. And orders a drink. The bartender's like, so what's your story? And he's like, well, I run the circus that's traveling through town right now, and we just lost our biggest attraction, and I'm kind of at a loss. I don't know what to do about it. And the bartender's like, well, you're in luck, because yesterday, of all things, I met a talking duck. If he comes in again, I'll let him know that you're looking for work. The circus owner's like, yeah, that'd be a godsend, man. So he leaves, and then, you know, a few days pass, and then finally the duck comes back in. You know, it's been a long day of work. He's got kind of like, on his feathers, he's got kind of like drywall dust. Like, you can tell he's been hard at it. And he sits down, orders, you know, some food and a drink and stuff. The bartender's like, you're not going to believe this, but this circus owner came in, and he was looking for work. And I think it might be something you're interested in. I think it'd be something you'd be good at. The duck's like, circus? Like with a tent? You know, like with the big circular, you know, striped tent with like the animals and stuff. The bartender's like, well, yeah. The duck's like, the fuck does he want with a drywaller?
I like it.
It's stupid.
I like it. Not bad.
Anyway,
I got a joke.
sure.
This midget walks into a doctor's office.
Demonetized for like the 5th time this stream.
Huh?
This has been demonetized for like the 5th time this stream, and I haven't even.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We're not even trying.
yeah.
This midget walks into a doctor's office, and he goes up to the front counter, and the nurse looks at him and he goes, "Sir, you're gonna have to be a little patient." That's the joke.
That's a good one. I enjoyed that.
Heard that from a guy on some trucker on TikTok.
Yeah, I heard mine from some old lady on TikTok.
Yeah, it's both TikTok and
That's just where the jokes propagate these days. Hey,
Man,
man.
if you can sift through the bullshit on TikTok, it's nothing but gems down
Yeah,
there.
once the algorithm figures you out, like, it delivers you some good shit. Like, during the riots and stuff, and like even during the Ukraine shit, like, if you want videos that people, like raw videos that people have taken with their cell phones, like on the ground, that's like the first place that people post it, just because it's the most popular thing right now.
Mhm. I agree. I used to see that all the time.
Yeah.
People dropping in, parachuting in. I don't know. I feel like I spent too much time on that app though.
Oh, dude, I deleted it.
You can definitely get addicted to it, because
When I
yeah.
got COVID and I was down for like 3 days, that's literally all I did. Would I just get up, go to the bathroom, get something to eat, and then it was just TikTok all fucking day. And then when I got done, like as soon as I would wake up, I would dream about TikTok and shit, and I was just like, all right, I can't do this. It's gotta go.
I don't know. I think I was spending like way too many hours a day on my phone. I was like the top apps like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So all
I've been-
those went-
Addicting.
yeah, I've been watching it a lot
Definitely.
lately, but it's not for the sake of TikTok. It's just because like I get home from work and I'm just like, I don't have anything better to do. I'm just gonna lay in bed, and then so it's either
Do you
TikTok
lay-
or I'll
you lay
watch.
in bed when you get home.
Yeah, I went through a breakup recently, so I'm kind of
I heard.
don't have like I don't have like the drive to do anything, so I just get home and I just go lay down, just like whatever.
You
I
get the
sit-
drive to drive home.
I sit in a desolate room, no lights, no music,
That'll help.
just
That'll
anger.
make you feel better. Do you remember my advice I gave you?
No,
Do you
Remember the
talking
advice
about
I
it?
gave you?
I remember the sultry sounds of your soothing voice as we were talking about it, but I have no recollection of that conversation. I talked with it about Colton the next day, because he was like, "Hey, I'll be over at around 5:30. Is that okay?" And I was like, "Hey, just this is gonna be a weird question, but did I invite you over?" He's like, "Yeah, you did." And I was like, "Yeah, I remember talking to you guys. I don't remember what we talked about."
I've had plenty of full-on conversations with you that you just don't remember.
It happens. Oh well. What was your advice for Harley?
Fucking okay, so let me interject on that. So right before it happened, and I probably told you this that night, but right before it, like the night before it happened, I was like, "Hey man, I think she's gonna break up with me," and then Sam, being the clairvoyant that he is, he goes, "Hey man, you want me to pull a tarot card for you?" I'm like, "Sure," and he's
What
he's
the heck?
silent for a second, right? And then he just comes back with, "Well, have you considered being a bachelor for a while?" I was like, "God damn it!" Like, because he's never wrong. Like he's never been
Yeah.
wrong with these predictions. So it's like, well, fuck, that's a nail in the
Basically,
coffin
what
right
my
there.
advice was to him was like, man, you should just learn to live with yourself.
Yeah, it's good advice.
Because
You
I mean,
weren't wrong.
I went through an extremely similar situation with my divorce, and the only difference is that like I wanted to date like as soon as I to get the rebound in because it sucks, but I didn't. I chose not to, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna fucking do my own thing for a while,
Hmm.
and I'm glad
How'd
I
that
did.
go?
I mean, it's been great. Just learning to do whatever the fuck I want to do, and just I've been learning a lot about myself as a result from it because I've spent the last fucking X years like with somebody, so it was like trippy not having somebody with me at all times.
I don't know. The past couple days, I've written a lot more than I have in like a decade. So that's
What do
something.
you write?
Yeah.
Fiction, sci-fi, fantasy.
Porn?
No.
Oh, bad.
Are you a reader of porn?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I'm very anti-porn.
Me
I'm like-
too.
Religious levels of anti-porn. I think it's awful.
I think porn's like the worst thing in the world.
I agree.
I wouldn't agree with that on all
It's
porn.
worse than Ukraine and Russia.
It's
It's
worse.
pretty bad.
Literally getting brained by a bullet.
I wouldn't I
Yeah.
wouldn't say
We're
that
getting
about all
brained by
porn,
porn.
but written porn is
all
like the
porn.
worst thing on earth. Like it's so
I
fucking
think it's
cringy.
funny.
I can't sit through it. Like I at
You
my
get halfway through, you get bored. You're like, ah.
well, no, it's not that. It's just like at my previous girlfriend's request, like I read this book that she and her like smutty book club were reading. She was just like, "Hey, you should read it too, and we can talk about it." So I read this book, and it actually had a really interesting plot. Like the actual plot was fascinating, but like the smutty scenes were just like it was hard to sit through them because they were just so fucking terrible. It's like the terminology that porn writers use to describe things and the way they dance around certain concepts and words and things. It's just like, oh, why would you call it that?
Well, it's, I don't know.
Gotta get
It's
creative,
for
man.
women, right?
Well, yeah, they're intended for
mostly.
women. This
Yeah,
one was
so-
this one in particular got me because I was like, oh, I figured out what women are into, because the book was called The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie, and it was about this like Victorian era chick who gets involved with like this dark and mysterious Scottish baron or whatever, and but the thing is, he was like super fucking autistic, like he had absolutely no social skills, and she was into that. It was like a weird. It was like watching 50 Shades of Grey, where you were like, what does she see in this? But if he was like he just spoke his mind, was blunt about everything, and she was just like, oh, I'm falling for this guy because he's so straightforward, and he's just like, I don't get it.
That's funny.
I was like, oh, so women are into people with impaired social skills. That's it's reassuring, I guess.
Is it?
Means I
I don't
have
think
kids.
women know what they're into a lot of the time.
I agree. Women don't know what they want.
But yeah, his whole
That's
thing in the
okay.
first like half of the book was like, oh yeah, I'm really into collecting ceramic bowls. I know everything there is to know about ceramic bowls.
Each their own.
What the heck?
It could
Yeah.
be worse.
I guess. Ugh.
Anyway, it was a good read, except for the the parts that weren't.
Yes.
Except for the
Yes.
content of the book.
Yes. Ugh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always try to break down why porn is so bad to people, but
No,
I don't. Think
I understand.
It's certainly an unnatural stimulation of chemicals in your brain.
it's a hyper unnatural
Yeah,
stimulation.
it's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like you got to think about a caveman and how many like attractive bitches that he'd be exposed to. which probably wouldn't be very many.
It was probably none if they're a caveman. Although
I
I guess
mean,
their standards were different.
If your standards were caveman, I mean, probably anything would trigger your brain to fucking want to go at it. But now just imagine, like, not only that, but like a very attractive woman, you get this massive spike of endorphins and shit. And then, but then like back to back, because every time you see a new woman, it's like basically an equal hit of dopamine. And that just like addles your brain, fucks it up, causes those kind of mental illnesses and shit.
It makes sense.
Especially when you're younger.
Well, yeah, there's been studies to show that it like will permanently fuck up like the endorphin receptors in your brain.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried I did that.
I mean, that's probably.
I did it to a lot of people. I mean, it's just like, I mean, I was just like any fucking kid back in the day, just like, holy shit, porn. All I gotta do is click on this.
Yeah, no, that's easily one of the major factors to why everybody's so fucked up now.
Well, it also it's directly causing incels because they're hyper stimulated and they got this like totally unnatural sense of what like a woman should look like. So they see just a regular chick and normally they'd be like, wow, she's attractive, but now they don't even think about it.
I considered downloading that dating app that's like geared towards dating thoughts, like eThoughts. Have you seen that one?
The thing?
It's called like Ely or something like that, or Healy, Hilly.
Oh, I've heard it. I don't know. Yeah, I've heard the term, but
Yeah. Just
I'm not
I've
sure
considered downloading that
what it
just to
does.
have like some superficial, stupid relationship with like a hot girl, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm like
is it?
I
is
have
it
the
like a
energy.
fake relationship with an e-girl?
You what?
What is it, like a fake relationship with an online girl?
No, it's a
How
real
is it?
relation. It's a dating app, but like all of the like it's geared towards people who are like fucking weebs and do cosplay and shit.
Oh, ew.
Twitch streamers,
Okay,
That's so creepy.
titty
never
streamers.
mind.
I knew a guy who dated a e-girl, and I can't remember how we met him, but we invited him to one of our D&D groups, and the conversation of girlfriends came up, and he was like, oh yeah, mine fucking is basically a sex worker on the internet. He goes, you want to see? And I was like, hell yeah. And he just shows me that stupid thing where they like look like cross-eyed and shit, stick out their tongue.
Yeah, the
Ahegao.
Ahegao face.
But she's just like
Gross.
jackhammering her pussy with this fucking vibrator at the same time. And you see the chat just fill up with people. And he's like, yeah, she's like super manic depressive and bipolar. And like, she tried killing herself the other day. And I was like,
Well, there's certainly a personality type that's geared towards
wow.
that lifestyle.
Crazy people.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being him.
He didn't seem
That's-
like he had his shit together.
Oh well, I guess that fits well together.
He, yeah. It's like, you watch that Rick and Morty where they like, go to that dating planet or like the counseling planet and they like manifest the like inner demon that both of them have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
They're,
one where there's like a whole bunch of
codependent with
Jerrys.
each other. Like that's kind of how I imagine their relationship in that, 20-minute window I learned about it.
That's
funny.
why I specified that it would be a superficial relationship that I wouldn't be putting a whole lot of effort into because it just might be
Oh.
like a
Man.
weird thing to.
Just learn to live without them, and then my philosophy is, because I've tried. I mean, I've dated a few women, but like they just weren't what I was looking for. So I just was like, all right, whatever, no big deal.
How's your?
That way, like I'm just gonna do my thing, and I have so much free time to do it.
Mhm.
And if somebody wants to come along, cool.
How's your
if
hunt?
not-
How's your hunt for the perfect massage parlor going?
Oh well, none of those take L&I insurance, so
Oh, I thought it was any.
no. They have to be in the system. Apparently, there's this like mountain of bureaucratic bullshit that you got to do to be able to do L&I claims like that. Like you gotta submit reports per session to them, so that because you're basically nobody wants to fucking cover massage therapy because they think it's just this luxury.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, it's like extremely important for
Yeah.
a lot of people, and so they'll do anything that they can to like not have to pay for it.
So
Like-
what it sounds like is it's like on the surface it's supposed to be a benefit, but then there's so much like yellow tape to get through that it's really just not.
I'm gonna basically yell at my occupational doctor because she just wanted to send me straight to physical therapy and that was it. I was like, no, you should refer me or write me a prescription for massage because I know that's what I need because it's always worked in the past.
Although physical therapy is
She just
nice.
refused for a while. I've had like kind of, I don't know, sometimes physical, because when I injured my ankle in the Marine Corps, I went through like 3 whole like rounds, like multiple month like sessions of physical therapy on it, and it just made it worse.
I had a herniated disc in my lower back in 2016, and I went to physical therapy for that. And between they would give me they gave me a series of exercises that I was supposed to do, and I'd spend a certain amount of time under like the pressurized heated thing, and then I would walk on the treadmill for a certain amount of time at certain speeds, and like he gave me all sorts of stuff, but like that fixed me right up. Like that was like being miracle healed by Jesus. Like it was insane. There were
Yeah,
some
it
days I
works
would wake up and I
for
couldn't
some
even
people in
walk.
some situations, and like I'm not like shitting on the validity of physical therapy or anything. I'm just I know it works for me and what doesn't.
Fair enough.
Massage.
Some
just
people
stiff
claim
muscles.
chiropractic works on them, even though I think that's bullshit.
Dude, I've been to like for 7 years straight. I bounced around between different chiropractors because I fucked up my back in the Marines, and none of them made it better. None of them knew what the fuck they were doing. They would just sit down, talk to you for a few minutes, pretend like they were like gonna do some doctor shit, and then just crack your back. And
Which
I-
provides immediate relief. Like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that feels better, and then like a couple days later, it's just back the way it was.
there are good chiropractors that are more like physical therapists that work with the spine. And then there was one guy in particular that I thought was fucking awesome. And he didn't even like crack your back. He had this cylinder, this plastic cylinder with like a inverted metal cone on the inside on the bottom. And this, the top could unscrew and it had like varying degrees. It was like a very precise instrument. And what he did was when he was giving the introduction, he would wrap a fucking rubber band around your finger really tight,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put it underneath the device and you rubbed the top with your finger and it would squeak. And then you took the rubber band off, put it back under, and you would rub it and it didn't squeak. So apparently this device is like tuned into the frequency of like nerves that are like under a lot of stress. And he would go up and down your spine with it until he found a squeak. And he took this little pen that had like a little spring in it, and you could barely feel it. And he would just press on your vertebrae until it stopped squeaking, and then he would let go when it started squeaking again. And then he'd have you lay there, and then you would do it again to make sure. And that's how he would just adjust all of your vertebrae, and it felt amazing.
Yeah,
God damn, it was expensive.
yeah. The one positive chiropractor experience I had was, you know, one of those times that you like sleep wrong and you wake up and like your whole shoulder hurts like all the way up into here. Went to the chiropractor and he had one of those little springy gun things that you pull a trigger and it like slams into you really hard. And he just like did that a whole bunch of times right through here, and then it was just like I went home and it just felt normal again. But that was just maintenance care for something that would have gone away on its own, or I could have probably used a Theracane for it. Like,
When I was, go ahead.
what's what?
What's the Theracane?
This thing.
You guys both have one?
Yeah. Oh, I got him to get it. It's just like a stick you can use to massage yourself.
The plastic is really hard. Like it has no give to it whatsoever, and so like it's good for like deep tissue massage. Like it just gets really in there.
I guess.
It's like- It's like $25.
Interesting.
You get bored.
Interesting. Okay.
It's recommended by Bob and Brad, the most popular physical
Physical
therapists
therapists
on the internet, in their opinion, of course.
God damn it, dude. I had a not physical therapist, but a chiropractor, because I got hit in the head with a halberd when we were doing heavy armor combat one time, and he hit me so hard in the helmet that it lifted me off the ground, and I think it like shifted my top vertebrae a little bit. So when I went to go see one of the many chiropractors, he x-rayed my neck and said like, oh yeah, it's a little shifted this way. We're going to just reset it. I was like, okay, he's just going to crack my neck. So I'm laying on this table and he gets this like it looks like a pneumatic drill. It's like this fucking big, and it's got this like 4-inch, 5-inch like long like metal rod with a rubber tip on the end, and he puts it like right on because you can feel your atlas right behind your ear. He puts it right on there, and apparently it's like a hammer, and it just goes smack, and it like rattled my whole skull. And he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna feel like shit for a while as everything adjusts, but then you'll get back to normal." And like I couldn't sleep for like 4 days after that, and I was constantly like cold but I was sweating at the same time. And then I went to that one chiropractor I was telling you about where he just pokes it and he just pushed it back. He was like, "Yeah, don't go back there."
I saw a TikTok yesterday that there was this girl who had this extremely rare disorder where she, like, it's a thing that happens occasionally to people where you're on like a moving thing, like a car or a boat or something like that, and then you get off of it and your like inner ear just doesn't readjust to being on a solid surface, and it's permanent. Like it's like an extremely low percentage of chance that it happens, but she was like on a boat and grew accustomed to being on the boat, and then when she got off the boat, she was just forever wobbly after that. Like she would just have like continuous vertigo for the rest of forever.
Sounds fucking
Yeah. And she was like, "Yeah, the doctor said they couldn't do anything about it. My brain's just broken apparently." I was like, "Fuck, dude, that's terrifying."
sounds like something wrong with your brain.
Never get on a boat again.
Yeah. That's what the comments were like. So if you get back on the boat, will it fix it?
Yeah.
She's like, "No, I tried that."
I think I talked about this on here before, but I got fucked up doing VR.
Oh yeah.
Because like apparently you can experience symptoms of motion sickness without actually getting sick, and
I know that feel.
that symptom is like crippling severe depression.
Oh, that's a hell of a symptom.
Yeah, so because I'm not like a suicidal person or really depressed at all ever. I never have been up through my whole life, but being in VR, putting it on, it was just like this weird. And then when you would start to move, you kind of get that like feeling in your stomach when you drop in like a car when you go down a hill or something.
Mhm.
Just this little kind of queasiness in the gut. But then I kind of was just like, "Oh, this is cool." Played for like 45 minutes, and then I took it off, and I just sort of just had really low energy, and I went and lay down on my bed, and I was just reading a book, and then I was just like, "Fuck, I just want to kill myself." Like I was just suicidal.
That escalated
rolling through
quickly.
my head. It did, dude. It was terrifying, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And so it kind of went away. And then
somewhere
I took a break, I went back in, and then the same thing happened, but it was like 10 times worse, and it lasted for the rest of the day. And so I returned my Vive, and then I started researching. I was like, this was fucking bizarre as hell. And there was like one other person that had the same symptoms that I had, and they had talked to their doctor and told them that that's what motion sickness can do with some people.
Somewhere
but
the
you can
author
get acclimated to it. What?
somewhere the author to the book you were reading whenever you felt that was just like, oh, because you're just sitting there reading the book and you're like, I want to kill myself all of a sudden. And
Yeah. But it's like getting sea legs, and apparently some people, they don't get seasick, they get land sick. So they'll be fine on a boat, but as soon as they get back on land, they'll get sick.
oh,
And I
what?
think that's what was going on with me, because when I would take it off, that's when I would feel like, what the like just looking at my hand, because when you're in VR, you're just this is disembodied controller,
Yeah.
and just it's an indescribably weird sensation to just look at your hand when you see it attached to your arm, being like what the fuck, like that's weird.
So two
My
things.
brain just couldn't handle it. I eventually got used to it though.
Yeah. Two things. One of them, when I did that lift training a couple weeks ago, where I learned how to use like the boom lift and all that stuff, when I got off of the boom lift, which was extremely wobbly, I was like fucked up. Like whenever I stood back on the pavement, I was like struggling to stand up. I was like, everything is weird. Like, and all I had done was go up on the boom lift, go like 180 degrees, go back, and then set back down and step off of it. And it was just like, reality has changed now. The world is uneven. It was like I experienced true level and then I didn't anymore.
Like
But
that Rick and Morty episode.
yeah. But anyway, other thing, I think that, so there's all these like mitigations for motion sickness in VR. There's like the anti-frame persistence or anti-ghosting or whatever they were calling it back in the day, and there's tunnel vision for when you move, and there's all sorts of quality of life things that'll make VR better. I think one thing that all games should do and all applications should do is you should never not be able to see your hands. Like even on loading screens, your hands should render, because that's like the most immersion breaking thing, is whenever your hands or even the controllers aren't visible. Like that should be an always on thing, is that you should always be able to see your hands.
I mean, like when you're loading in VR, it just switches to your controllers, so they're not really hands anymore.
Right, but there's some loading screens in some games where there's nothing at all.
Yeah, I guess I just don't notice. I'm almost more immersed somehow.
I don't know. I don't play VR, so I don't know. I'm poor.
It's neat. It's a cool little thing, but like I never use it anymore.
Yeah, I probably won't put significant time into my Oculus until I get sober because I have headaches.
Well, when I do drink, I like to get on VR chat and just go talk to random fucking people from all over the world.
I do like those YouTube videos.
They
People tend
are
to be a lot more honest on VR chat for some reason.
45-minute long video of a soldier talking about his near-death experience, and his avatar is like an anime girl.
Yeah, yeah. Sonic Chu.
It's
talking
fucking Ugandan Knuckles.
I mean, you're never gonna meet these people, and never gonna know who you are.
Yeah,
exactly.
I always just like gather everybody around and just start telling them all the times I've done like heroic doses of acid and shrooms and shit.
Tell them about how you threw grenades.
Yeah, I tell I tell them about my stories in the Marines. I didn't kill anybody when I was in, but sure got to shoot a lot of shit.
Did you ever deploy?
Nope. I was too smart because I was a mechanic. I went in open contract. I thought it was going to be a grunt, and then I took the test and my mechanics was perfect, so they made me a mechanic. But I wasn't like a mechanic on the vehicle. I was like the depot level where they like send the engines to go get repaired and tested and shit. So I went through a school to teach me how to like install it on the LAVs, and then I went to where I actually worked, at which I basically started school again. But then I started taking apart trannies, differentials, transfer cases, and then the guy who was in charge of doing all of the hydraulic manifold superchargers and turbochargers got caught smoking weed, so he was getting kicked out, and they put me in there. And then I was doing such a good job at saving the money, as they put it, that whenever time there was a deployment that was coming up, my name would be on the roster, but then my fucking platoon commander would come up and he'd just be like, no, you're going to be training this guy to go instead. He's like, I can't let you go. I was like, fuck. So I spent my whole 4 years on Camp Pendleton.
Did it upset you?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I was pissed. And not even that, but like once the platoon commander that was basically had me there, once he left because he was an insane alcoholic and he crashed his motorcycle on the way to work because he was coming straight from the bar. Like he's got half his helmet missing, his like road leathers are all fucked up, and he drives his motorcycle into the bay, drunk as shit, gives a speech on how we're gonna go back over and blow up the dude who killed his buddy. And then we never saw him again after that. And then like 3 months after that, they're like, all right, you're going to go back to 6th Platoon where you had your old job. This is like 3 years in. So I basically get thrown back into the position I started with, barely learned anything, and then was expected to restart my career at that point. And they were like privates and private first classes that knew more about this job than I did. So I was just like, well, I'm getting out. Fuck this. It happens a lot. The Marine Corps will just fuck you over, and your career is dead before it even starts. Like there was no way. Like I was basically restarting at that point. Plus, where I was a black hole. There was guys that were like qualified for Special Forces, MARSOC, Then they'd go and they would take the courses and do everything they needed to get qualified, which was not easy. Only for like the first sergeant to just be like, "Nope, you can't leave. We need him,"
Wow.
which is just not true.
That whole feeling like you're restarting your career is something that I'm worried about with taking this Everett job if I get it, because it's a higher level position. Like I'm in an entry position right now, and it's a journey position. But I've been in it for 6 years, and every year it goes up a step, and your pay goes up. And I don't know if that will carry over to this new position. And so if I start at step A in a journey level position, I will be making significantly less than I do now. And I'd be moving to a higher cost of life area. So it's like, the fuck, man.
Well, isn't that stuff you figure out before you go over there? Like salary
Well, yeah,
everything?
no, I would definitely figure it out before I go over there. It's just something I'm worried about because I don't know the details yet.
Well,
Just
even
do
if it does pay less, I mean, do you think you'd be happier over there?
I don't think it makes a difference at this point.
Where you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Harley. We wouldn't be able to hang out anymore.
I mean, we all usually hang out on Discord anyway. Like,
I know,
for every 20 times that we hang out on Discord, we hang out once in real life.
but it's always fucking sweet.
Yeah, we always have like
We
delicious
shoot
hot pot or
guns
something
and
like that. Mediocre Chicago dogs.
Yeah, those were. I don't get it.
Those
They
were
were just
those were very
were just
okay.
fancy hot dogs, man.
They were hard to eat. That pretty much canceled out any value that I got from eating
mean,
it. Was the
I didn't-
difficulty.
I'm like a dog. I'll eat anything, but doesn't mean I'll enjoy eating it. You know.
Nah, man, we got to go back to hot pot and we got to fucking hold them up at gunpoint so they can give us our marinated beef.
Couple times I went, there were different like waitresses. So
Oh, have
maybe-
you gone since then?
Yeah, I went. Took my mom there for her birthday a couple weeks ago.
Did you get the
She-
beef?
She'd never been. Nah, she. That's something I've been talking to her about. She needs to like eat more food
Hmm.
because she wants to lose weight, so she thinks just like starving herself will do it, but it's not working.
Well, yeah, because no, it's going to
So
put
her
your body in a
stomach's the size
starvation
of-
response, and you're just going to.
Yes, her stomach's the size of an apple, so I spent like $60 on food, and she ate like one bowl. I got leftovers though.
Yeah, that's something I guess you're not aware of, Riley. Is if you ever go to get hot pot over on the place on Gage, apparently it's a well-kept secret from the Western audiences that you're not allowed to order their marinated beef because, like, it looks gross, like it's washed in like egg whites, but if you order it, I guess they've had enough bad experiences with people being grossed out by it that they're like, "Are you sure that's what you want?" And you're like, "Yeah, I've got it before. I know that's what I want." And they're like, "Okay." And then they go in the back, and then somebody else comes out, and they're like, "So we see that you ordered this. Are you sure this is what you want?" And we're like, "Yeah, please bring it to us." And then like the fourth or fifth time they come by, it's like, "So we still haven't gotten this?" And they're like, "Oh, I'll go check in the back." And then they never come back. And so 3 hours
Yeah.
after being there, it's just you still haven't gotten the thing you ordered.
But
And it's
can I
just that
order this?
one
Like,
specific thing.
No,
But why? What is it marinated in?
It's marinated in
Was
egg
it-
whites, so it's just
it just looks like
yeah, it's just beef and it's in
roast
goo.
beef.
But once you cook it up, it's delicious. It's like super tender. It has a lot of flavor, but it's just impossible to get them to bring it to you.
Does it look disgusting?
Yeah.
Have you never eaten hot pot before?
No.
I
Is it
mean,
like soup?
so it's they just bring you out a big
Basically.
thing of broth, and then you order on a per ingredients basis, and then you cook it in the broth, and then eat
It's
it.
fucking.
Oh, you cook the meat in the soup?
Meat,
It's like a
potatoes.
simmering pot of
Yeah.
boiling water, so you just takes like a minute and a half to cook the meat.
Yeah, everything cooks really quickly, so you like
Because it's cut super thin.
yeah, so you just put it in, wait a
Alright.
couple minutes, then pull it out.
I
But
don't like going to places where I have to cook the food like myself. It's awful. There's
It's
a
just
place
it just tastes
in
really good.
Kennewick where they give you a bunch of raw meat and you just like throw it on this big grill in front of you. And you like grill your own food.
Yeah,
It's the
Korean
weirdest
barbecue.
thing.
You're talking about Gangnam style, right?
Yes, I am. It was god awful.
Yeah.
It was a waste of my time and money.
I also don't like going there, honestly. Like, the quality of the food isn't worth the effort. But Hot Pot, the quality of food is indeed worth the effort. It's really
Oh,
fucking
it's
good.
amazing, and it's
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it cooking. I just lift the meat, put it in the pot.
Yeah, put into bowl, wait a couple minutes, pull out of bowl, put in mouth.
A wait to eat my food. It's not very
Don't
American.
put too much in it once. I guess is the hardest part.
I'll have to try it sometime then.
I'll go with
And then
you.
I'll shit talk it. Yeah, we should together.
I'm down. Dude, I'm literally down for any excuse to get on a pot.
Okay.
What are you guys doing
I
tomorrow
have a lot
night?
of spare time, so like all my time is spare time. I'm bum.
What are you guys doing
Bum,
tomorrow
huh?
night?
Like a professional bum, or you just?
Yeah, like I'm unemployed. Don't do it.
Oh, I was like that for most of last year.
I've been like this for 4 months, and I want to die.
Why don't you just
Not
get,
literally, though. For anyone listening, not literally, metaphorically.
why don't you just
It
get a
does
job?
suck, though. I'm trying. These bastards. Well,
like,
I guess
anywhere
I'm being
specific?
I'm being picky about my jobs.
Oh, well, there.
Ah, you're Ethaning your jobs.
I don't know. I don't want. I've worked a lot of shitty jobs in my life, and I don't want another shitty,
Me too.
manual labor job. I mean, I buried people for money a while ago. That was pretty annoying.
That's
But
an interesting thing that I want to hear more about. Would you work at like a mortuary, like
a cemetery, yeah,
a cemetery?
it's pretty fun. Moratorium's next to it. They're pretty cool. They roll coal every day, rolling up grandma and grandpa. It's so weird to see. But no, now I have a degree and I want to use it, so I'm trying to get a job with that. But
Green what?
I'm mechanical engineering.
You should start your own business.
And I want to start a gun company in the future, but that's like end goal. I think starting my own business right now would be foolhardy.
Just become an internet personality.
Become a VTuber.
Too boring. I'm too racist. I can't do that.
Hey man, people are starving for that shit.
I guess they get. I don't know. Joe Rogan would I don't know, replace me.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't think Joe Rogan's actually racist.
Oh, I don't think he is either.
I think he just plays a character.
People. Oh, I don't think Joe Rogan plays a character.
No, Joe Rogan's just himself.
People just think Joe Rogan's racist because some of the shit he says.
Yeah,
but I don't think he is.
It's always just people who never listen to him.
Yeah, if you listen,
I've been watching Joe Rogan since like 2013.
Yeah, if you listen to any reasonable amount of Joe Rogan, he's a pretty like down to earth guy.
Yeah.
Maybe not down to earth, level headed. Like he's reasonable.
I mean, if you kick a bag as much as he does and smoke as much weed, then you tend to be chill.
I think we lost Riley.
Uh-oh.
Well, your camera's frozen. Oh, there you go.
Oh. Oh, yeah, my internet dipped for a second, and it's dipping again. My ping. Anyway. I love Joe, but, yeah, he's a little controversial sometimes.
I only watch when certain people go on. The ones I find interesting.
Yeah.
Some people he interviews are really boring.
I don't really watch his podcast for him. Like if Joey Diaz is on, I'll watch it because that guy's fucking hilarious.
That dude's awesome.
I'm a simp for Paul Stamets, like the mushroom guru. Like he's a genius. Like I just like listening to him talk. He just sounds so smart.
There's one that's really interesting. My favorite one is Dr. Robert Schoch. He's the guy who he's the geologist that went to Egypt and determined that the enclosure that's around the Sphinx was eroded by water and not wind, and determined that the only time there was enough water to cause this much erosion was like during the Ice Age. So the Sphinx enclosure and the Sphinx sort of by proxy is at least like 12 to 15,000 years old, which pushes everything way back.
Right.
Way back. Like that's like Ice Age, literal Ice Age timeline. And they think that the Great Pyramid was built like 4,000 years ago.
I was watching something yesterday where somebody who was a big Tesla expert, like Nikola Tesla, not the car company, he had built like this whole apparatus for wirelessly transmitting electricity underground, and really interesting to watch. Guy really knows what he's talking about, but he had this whole setup in his yard where he was like, yeah, I'm going to power these lights over there using this Tesla coil that's jammed into the ground over here, and no wires, no anything. It's just, this is how it works. And then a lot of the comments, there was this whole discourse in the comments that was just like, yeah, this is actually how most electricity propagated in the 1800s, but you don't ever really hear about that. Like, we didn't have a bunch of telephone wires and like electrical wires overhead. Like,
What, using like electromagnetic flux or something?
no, it literally it uses the mechanism of grounding to basically force feed the electricity into the ground and then pull it out somewhere else. Yeah.
I don't know.
Over my head.
I'm not an engineer. Yeah.
I'll find the link to it and post it in the
Somebody
DCF
tried explaining to me
content.
how electricity really works. Like you're not sending the electrons through the copper. It's the
No.
electromagnetic field around it that transmits the power. And I was like, I can't wrap my head around that.
I don't know. I always think of it as like electrons aren't moving through a wire. It's like they're just shaking back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's like simulating movement. So you don't actually like send an electron all the way over there. It's just you're just bumping next to the one to the left, and that's bumping next to the one on the right.
Oh, that's what energy
AC/DC
is.
current.
You should
is
move your mic
whatever.
closer to your face, Riley.
That's what energy is
There you
atoms and parts of atoms just moving back and forth.
Quarks and some other horse shit.
Quarks. Ugh. I don't know, a bunch of bullshit I don't know. I did love physics though. I feel like I should have spent more time on that, but I don't know. You can't really do anything with a physics degree. Except tell everyone you have a physics degree.
Just make a YouTube channel and talk about physics. People love that shit.
Yeah, and get get my 1 cent of monetization.
Nah, you can't bet on, because I had a YouTube channel where I did tarot, but I kept getting demonetized, so I just built it from the ground
Really?
up. where if
From
I
tarot? How?
I just give tarot card readings. I don't do it so much anymore.
No, I mean, how'd you get demonetized for that?
I just talk about controversial shit.
Oh.
I have a YouTube channel where I posted some kind of like naturey videos like 10 plus years ago, and then just various other just miscellaneous stuff. But I would monetize all my videos because none of it was like something that would offend somebody. And a couple of them got enough views that through Google AdSense, I was up to like $98 and 70 something cents. And the way that Google AdSense works is that they won't pay out until you hit a threshold of $100. And like I was like $1 and something away from hitting that threshold and getting a check for the first time after like over a decade. And then Google AdSense changed their policy where they're like, oh yeah, we're doing things differently now. And so I still have my AdSense account. I can still go look at that, and that $98 is just sitting there, and there's no way I can get it because the requirements for monetizing YouTube videos have changed.
Is that the same channel as Wayne Ultima takes a ride?
That's
Or
a
you're,
different
like,
channel.
Driving around.
That's a different channel. I have several.
Hey, what's up? What do you want? I was just saying hi, just hopping in the pod.
Yeah, the pod's going on.
Yeah, I see that. It's pretty rad. Hey, gamers.
Colton's out my window.
Oh, he's physically there.
He's physically here.
Well, get him on screen,
Oh
man.
yeah, I can.
Bring it to me. Hi.
Wow.
Just this dark figure outside of your window.
I imagine I'm being
They're
called all kinds
laughing.
of slurs.
Yeah, they said you're ugly.
Yeah. I know how it is.
Anyway,
Anyway,
what's up?
Not much. I just got good.
Oh, you're watching it.
I was listening.
Oh my god. Yeah, just skip ahead. It's
No, I liked it.
some detailed conversation here.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I'll leave you
Worry
to
about random shit.
a steamy pie in the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Bye bye.
Okay.
Anyway.
Quality entertainment. You won't see it
Go eat
anywhere
some
else.
pizza. I know.
Oh yeah. Some za.
anyway, yeah, at every turn, YouTube monetization gets more and more unforgiving to the people who are actually trying to make use of it. So it's really
YouTube
YouTube hates people.
Giant evil corporation. Blah 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 blah.
Yep,
blah.
yeah, we've all been
Tear
there.
it down, brick by brick, everyone.
Eat the
Woke that,
rich.
woke this.
Oh my god. Fucking camera.
I'm probably gonna call it at 10.
And we can call it now if you want. I think we've covered a lot of.
Yeah, We've been going for a while.
various interesting
Oh,
topics.
I actually have. I know I'm dead. My camera's retarded, but I have a women question for the both of you, which might be stupid to ask, but
I'm all ears.
I know considering both of your histories with women. So
Couple of studs.
there's this. I go to the gym on the daily, and there's this girl there that's just drop dead. I mean, she's banging, right? Blonde, tall, strong. Struts her stuff. But obviously, you know, I hate women, so I don't talk to her. And like 2 weeks go by of her and I going at the same time every day, and we happen to go at the same time every day because I changed my schedule to go whenever she went.
I was gonna say, are
Um,
you you're
No,
making this
I
happen? I'm
definitely
sure.
started going when she went. And then I realized that we had like matched on Tinder, and I was like, so now I know this girl's name, and like where she's from. And I never said anything. And now it's been like a month has gone by, and I still see her every day, and she won't look at me. She won't talk to me. So do you think she's not looking at me out of like fear, or do you think she's like so? Oh, she's like, wow, this guy's really a stud. I better stay away from him.
Probably not. It's probably more of like just a fucking. I
Or you
mean,
think she just doesn't care at all?
well,
I'm
she
just
probably
curious.
has like 100 other dudes chasing her right now,
I don't know.
and she's just waiting for Mr. Right to come up. I don't know.
I would, if it was me, like I would just try talking to her, and
Well,
like
the
it's either gonna work out or it's not, and that's
well, I know.
that's
What the worry is, it doesn't work out, and then I can't go to that gym anymore.
Oh, come on.
just go at a different
So
time.
What are you expecting to happen? Just like a horrible fucking fallout
Yes,
immediately?
exactly. That's exactly what I expect.
Oh well.
Well, no, if you
Probably
t-
not going to be that bad.
yeah, if you
It's probably
talk to
gonna
her
be
and
like,
it
"Hey, we
doesn't work
matched on
out,
Tinder." That's what I would do. Like, hey, you're that chick I matched on Tinder. What's up? I would just strike up a conversation. with her.
act surprised. You could be like, hey, wait, hold on a second, didn't I match with you on Tinder? Like,
Hold on a second. Didn't I match you on Tinder a month
Hey,
ago? I
yo,
never
bitch.
messaged you.
wait
Like,
just
"Hey,
a
yo,
gosh
bitch,"
darn
over the
minute.
phone and be like, is that you?
Is that you? Track her down.
Yeah, no, just like you don't have to be weird about it. You can just, I don't know.
No, but you know me. I don't know. You know me, Harley. You know
Hating
how I
women
make
is
things.
definitely kind of a roadblock for that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't hate women. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, I think we might know a thing or two about that.
No, I love women. It's maybe not as much as I should though.
How old are you?
There, I'm 24.
You got
So, no.
time.
I know.
I got married when I was 24,
That's exciting.
but I saw the warning signs, man.
How old was I when I
Early?
got married? I guess I was 25.
Yeah. She was like, she's polyamorous. Or she when I
Oh,
divorced.
that is a big warning sign.
Well, that wasn't how she was when I met her, but there were some signs to like allude to the fact that she was that way. And then it just happened.
I dated a
And-
girl like that, except she never told me, and then she started sleeping with other people.
Yeah, well that's fucked up.
Yeah, well, it was funny.
But yeah, so I was like, yeah, I think I'm just hardwired not to be able to do that. I think it's just degenerate like garbage.
I think it's weird. I think that
I think it's gross. People can do whatever they want, though.
yeah, no, I
that's
mean,
just-
if you've got the correct mindset to go along with that, that's fine. Like you do you, but I think in my head, like human jealousy is too much for me to overcome to live that way.
yeah, I mean, it's like certain people can just handle that. I don't understand how.
Yeah,
I can't.
I can't. It's just
I
so-
know a couple people who are in an extremely successful open relationship, and I'm just like, I could never be you. Like,
Will Smith.
hey,
I've heard that's successful.
keep his
I mean,
name out your fucking mouth.
depends on how you define as successful.
Yeah,
I don't know. They got money.
He's banned from the Oscars now.
for
He got-
10
he got
years.
good.
He got his 10 years.
Yeah, well,
I hate talking about it.
Hilarious.
I fucking hate the shit. I don't give a shit.
yeah.
What happens with
Ah,
that.
man, it's definitely. I don't know. At first I thought it was like a thing that they were just doing to make people talk about the Oscars.
I fully thought it was a publicity stunt. I'm still not convinced that it wasn't.
Yeah, neither am
Maybe
I.
Will Smith just didn't give a fuck, and he's like, yeah, 10 years, sure.
Well, yeah, it's not like he's gonna run out of money in the
It's not like they're all
interim.
actors and do
Yeah.
this shit for a living. So
Yeah, that's true. That's funny.
who fucking knows?
Anyway,
Yeah,
man, just
women
talk to
are,
her.
Women are
Nah,
fucking crazy.
I think I'll just stare. But I'll be thinking about you guys when I think about talking to her, and then I don't.
All right,
So your words won't, fall on deaf ears.
will just be ringing around in your head.
Pretty much. Maybe I'll take some pictures. Go home.
Like
Makes,
walk by. Make sure you leave your sound on, so when you take a picture,
makes like
you-
the shutter
you should
sound.
Yeah,
hear
and
the
I get
shutter
the light comes on.
Just start sniffing around her, like when she's benching. Just
If she leaves like a towel or an article of clothing, just pick it up and take a good whiff. Like, make sure she sees you do it.
Yeah, so she knows I'm interested.
Yeah. Take a drink out of her water bottle every once in a while.
the mating
Spit in her
call.
water while she goes. to
It
the
goes
bathroom.
out.
Oh, well.
And if she's into it, fuck man, you got yourself a winner.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of psycho, I got one more. One of my old coworkers, I'm pretty sure he was a psychopath, or at least
Mm.
had
Yum.
some degree of psychopathy going on with him. Because he, how psychopaths can be really good at like pretending to have emotions and shit,
Oh, absolutely. I'm there. I know the feeling.
but they have that like psychopathic stare. You ever seen that before?
No,
So it's really uncomfortable.
I see it right now in Harley.
Yeah. But like you'll know it when you meet somebody. Some people like will stare at you to like be intimidating, but they don't feel like there's anything uncomfortable with just making eye contact. And so they'll just keep it and they will never break it. And it's extremely uncomfortable. And he had that. But he would just pick up chicks. Like he said he could go anywhere at any time. And if there were women there, he could pick one up. Like he goes into Albertsons on the rig and just takes chicks home that he just meets. And I'm like, well,
That's a way to do it.
how the fuck do you do that? He's like, I don't know. I just don't care. Like a
Yeah,
psycho.
that's a good, really, really good way.
Like, well, yeah, but like on a psychopathic level, I think.
Oh yeah, well,
He
I have
just,
to I have to pretend to not care.
yeah, like we're all normal humans, so we feel emotions. He just, I don't think does. But he was just like, yeah, man, it's simple. You just don't give a shit. And I'm like, I think there's a little more to it than that.
Yeah, jokes aside, I don't think I'm actually a psychopath, but I do definitely think I'm a sociopath. Because I think that's why both of my
You should
relationships have
take the
failed.
test. There's
I
a
did.
test that, oh, what'd you
You
score?
took the rice purity test. What'd you get?
Well, no, actually, it was an autism test that I took. I don't think I took an actual
Yeah,
sociopath
that's-
Are
test.
you
way
autistic?
So the it was an online test, and those are all bullshit. And like self-tests are all bullshit anyway. But in this particular test, there were 100 questions, and if you were between like 0 and 4 points, then you were normal, and I got like 35. So,
Mm.
but yeah, no, I definitely think I'm a sociopath, just because like thinking back on my relationships, sometimes I'm like, did I do that because I cared about the other person, or did I do that because I cared about how the other person perceived me? You know, like
Is that sociopathic tendencies, or is that just like insecurities?
if you're a sociopath, you only care about yourself. And so if I mull it over too much, I start to think, did I actually care about them, or did I just care about my own goals and how their feelings would facilitate that?
I mean, there's tests online
That could also just be overthinking.
that are
things.
pretty straightforward.
I don't know. I think you're overthinking it. You're probably just selfish.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
I know
might
I'm
have
selfish.
a
I'm an only child.
certain- Because there's some people who are like borderline, like psychopathic, which is almost the same thing as sociopathic.
It's not. Those are very different.
How?
They're both
I'll
very
send you some
different. I
links.
don't know. Yeah, click on
What?
these links the sociopath's about to send you.
You can't just fucking define it for me? 'Cause
No,
then
I
we
can't
both-
because it's too complicated. I've watched like 2 like hour-long videos.
Trust me, I watched a YouTube documentary on sociopathy. I think I am one.
No, there was a thing that I think New York Times interviewed an actual like diagnosed sociopath, and they had all sorts of questions to ask them, and then there was something else. It was a series of articles on psychopaths and how they perceive things differently than sociopaths. Like sociopaths are just like a clinical level of selfishness, and psychopaths are actually like they do not care about they don't care about themselves, and they don't care about other people. They're just like completely off the rails.
I don't know about that. I know that psychopaths, they only care about themselves. That's
Well,
the thing.
they have some level of selfishness, but it's different.
They
Like
don't they don't fear death.
Yeah,
Also
there's
don't-
there's a
they don't
deeper
care
level
about
of
dying.
how it's different.
You remember back in the day when there was that mattress chick who faked about being raped, and then she like
Actress chick?
yeah,
She. What?
she pretended to be raped, made this big deal about it as like a public art stunt, and then she would carry around a mattress with her through college as this sort of statement of like, no one's listening to me. But then the cops did an investigation, found out that no, she just invited this dude over to bang. But then she just kept on going with it
I
until
think
she
I
graduated.
did. I think I did hear about this.
I mean,
That's like
I like the statement, but
that's like a sociopath. And then she made a porno
nice.
afterwards that was like an art piece expressing like what had actually happened. Basically, she's having sex with a dude and then just changes her mind halfway through and just starts crying. And then he leaves.
That's
that was
hot.
that was the porno. Yeah.
I'd watch it.
It's out there somewhere. Just go Google mattress girl porn. It's not that good though.
No, I don't think that's good. That shit. Gross. Funny though.
Yeah. She ended up marrying some conservative dude and became conservative because all the
Found God.
people she was all the dudes she was hanging out with were just like cucks. feminist dudes. The worst
Feminist dude cucks. That's
the worst kind of dude.
disgusting. Oh well.
All right. We ended it here.
I suppose we can call it.
I don't know. Harley, what are you doing after this? You want to play Tarkov?
Tarkov.
Yeah,
No.
You
go
wanna
beat
hate
your dick.
life?
I don't want to.
Punch yourself in the balls.
Playing Tarkov right now to me is like that scene in the new Jackass movie where Chris Pontius has the two clear acrylic sheets with the screws in it, and he's got his dick between them, and he's flattening it out as much as possible. Like that's how Tarkov feels.
We can do scav runs. Those don't feel painful.
I don't have room in my inventory for scav runs, so
Sell
I'm
your
gonna pass
inventory.
this time.
You
I might
have
go.
the Escape from Darkness. What do you mean you don't have room?
Dude, it's full. I'm a
Oh,
hoarder.
Bullshit. What, Gorkas? Like what? Just sell it.
I'm
all.
probably gonna go play Elden Ring, okay, or watch
Just make it,
Seinfeld.
man.
That's even worse.
Anyway,
Anyway,
to our
okay.
6 people our 6 views that we got during this podcast. Thanks for watching.
Shit, that's more than we've got last time.
That is.
Setting records.
We just gotta get off our lazy asses and just start pushing this show on. I don't even know what we would what would we cut up on this episode? I was talking about how we hate
me
chicks.
defending pedophilia.
Yeah, him talking.
There was the stuff where you were in prison was pretty interesting. Like
Prison's always interesting.
there was
Yeah.
bits and pieces. Like if we went back through it, it'd be
Okay,
like, oh,
that's
that's worth cutting up. Like we could take Matt's comments about church camp from previous
Sniffing
episodes.
some gym girls' farts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good
See?
one.
there's content here. We just gotta sift through the bullshit.
I don't know. I think it might help
There's
to
a
have,
mar-
like,
there's a
topics
market
of
out there.
conversation to go into.
I'm gonna
I'm
end the
telling you,
stream now.
dude. There's people that are just starving for a bunch of